Good morning, I'm Eric Reeser. The Browns put a bow on the preseason last night in Cleveland. Dylan Gabriel tossed 3 touchdowns. Mentor's Luke Floria caught 2 of them. Browns beat the visiting Patriots 37-13. Cleveland takes their 1-2 record into the regular season. They'll spend the first 2 weeks in Florida. Week 1, September 13th at Jacksonville. Last night in Buffalo, Will Howard threw a pair of touchdowns and also had an interception as the Steelers fell to the Bills 28-27. Howard's competing with rookie Drew Aller for a roster spot in Pittsburgh. All 32 teams need to be down to 53 by Sunday night at 6. As for the Bengals, Cincinnati goes for 3-0 against the Eagles tonight in Philadelphia. In college football last night, Division II Ohio Dominican went down to Kentucky and beat FCS Morehead State in triple overtime, 42-40. And it's week 2 of the high school football season. Tyler Danberg's going to be at Ohio Dominican tonight. Bishop Watterson battles Pickerington Central. Kickoff from ODU is at 7 o'clock. You can hear the Fan's high school football game of the week right here on the Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
I'm talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy, Austin Ward. My good buddy, Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery is joining us.
Hi, everybody. Tom Barry here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then
and
then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only 2 guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
All right, let's do it live on a football-ish Friday edition of the program. The last one of these that is not going to have all the bells and whistles of a week from now, kids, when we're in week 1 and we hear the hell's bells and all the fun that comes with that. Loaded up for you on a sort of football Friday. Doug Lavery's going to join us at 9:45, 10 o'clock. What we learned this week, a practice edition of Know the Scores. Practice, unless we do really well, Reese. In which case, we might just count it. Paul Feinbaum going to jump by at 10:30, 11 o'clock. 2-a-days continues in the AFC West. It will be the Chargers and the Raiders. Former Raiders linebacker Kirk Morrison will join us coming up at 11:30. Here's the reality. I looked at week 0 about 2 weeks ago, and I said, well, this sucks. How could they have not given us a couple of great games? Why is there not one ranked team? How is Clemson not playing LSU this weekend? How is USC not playing Texas Tech this weekend? Like, where's that weird, quirky kind of both teams sort of ranked? Maybe they're in the mix type game. Where is that game? There's no game. I mean, what do we got? We got North Carolina, TCU, and San Jose State and USC and NC State and Virginia, and talk yourself into Hawaii and Stanford, or get in a look at Florida State. It doesn't work. None of this works. And then you get here.
And it all works.
August 28th, and you go, God, man, I can't wait to see this. I can't wait to see if Belichick, what's it look like in year 2 against the Horned Frogs? Where are they playing? They're playing in Dublin. God, Dublin looks great. Maybe I'd go to one of these games someday. Fly Aer Lingus over there and take in a game in Dublin. USC, boy, Jordan Maeva. What's he going to look like against San Jose State? 38.5-point favorites. Do they act accordingly? Is that a three-quarter, four-quarter game? NC State, Virginia. God, I mean, last year Virginia's in the ACC title game. I mean, you were on campus this year. You can envision where that game's being played in Charlottesville at Scott Stadium. Like, that's pretty interesting there. What's Andrew Luck done as the general manager of Stanford as they host Hawaii? What does that look like? And Mike Norvell, God, you covered Florida State. I wonder if Mike Norvell can finally turn a corner, or is he going to be on the outs if he doesn't? And if he is on the outs, who do they hire at Florida State to take over that job? And then, my God, at 10 o'clock, the alma mater, the beloved Bobcats. I mean, trying to defend a national championship. Like, my goodness, maybe we ought to just park it on the couch and watch all of it. That's how starved we are for it. I am, at least. Like, am I going to be locked into all of this stuff from noon to midnight? No. But if I'm in the house, this is going to be on. And you talk yourself into all of it. Why? Because we're starving for it. We're starving for it. And they're giving us morsels And we're taking it. We're going to take it. I will watch USC and San Jose State. I will watch North Carolina TCU right at noon. I'll check in on Florida State in the afternoon. I'll definitely watch some of the Montana State game late. I'm curious to see what Memphis and UNLV looks like. That'll be the game I flip back and forth to at Saturday night because our guy Aaron Noland is at Memphis. Is he starting? I have no idea. Memphis wasn't 20 most interesting, but I know when the boys play the college football game, Memphis and UNLV are routinely in the playoff. So they must be a little bit good. And this is the beauty of the sport. Next week, we'll have week 1, and we'll have all the bells and whistles, and all the teams will play. And this is quite literally the aperitif of that. This is a little taste to get you going. It'd be nice if we had some better games. It'd be nice if there were some games that were ranked versus ranked, even if they were both in the teens. I mean, it'd be fun even if Florida State was playing USC. Like, you could talk yourself into that. Virginia was playing TCU. You could talk yourself into that. Hell, I'm talking myself into all of this. North Dakota State in their first Division I game, taking on Jacksonville State. You talk yourself into all of it, and it's just because we're hungry for it. And it feels like body clock-wise, we should be playing a game tomorrow. Play next week, but it feels like there should be one tomorrow. So, is week 0 great? No, but damn it, I'm going to talk myself. I've already have. I'm going to end up watching quite a bit of this over the next couple of days, and a lot of it tomorrow.
Yeah, the argument you just made on the air is a similar one that I would say 9 of every 10 listeners within the sound of my voice have made. You did leave off from tomorrow's Week 0 slate a very important debut as Sacramento State makes their Mid-American Conference debut at Eastern Michigan.
Hold on a second. Hold the front door. Your Sac State is a MAC team?
Yep, Hornets are buzzing into the MAC.
Maction, baby.
What?
Nationwide.
Yeah, early Maction now. Guess who's the coast-to-coast conference now?
You got to be kidding me. I didn't know this.
Yeah, now you do.
I guess I probably... No, I do. Yeah. So the MAC followed the Big Ten's footprint.
From UMass to Sac State.
Holy, from sea to shining sea.
It's got everything.
I'm pretty sure Sacramento State was like, we'll pay you whatever you want. Just take us. We need to get in a better
They're going to have games on ESPN and later on when you do Tuesday and Wednesday night Maction, one of their games.
That Tuesday night trip for OU to Sacramento State is going to be something. I actually don't know if they play on a Tuesday.
How does that make any financial sense at that level?
It doesn't.
Sac State was in the Big Sky. They were in the Big Sky Conference when they were 1AA. We used to see them.
Bo, do you know why this works? Even though the schedule's weak, you know why it works?
I do, but go ahead.
Because of what happened last night. When the little engine that could, Ohio Dominican, Division II, knocks off FCS Morehead State in triple overtime.
Really?
With a big upset to start the season. It was a little bit of a bummer because I was supposed to be there last night on the call with Todd.
What?
And I couldn't make it because I had to be here with Tyvis for his Brown stuff as he did that in studio.
You had to babysit Tyvis, and that's what kept you from calling this?
But it's pretty crazy that Ohio Dominican gets an upset win like that for them, knocking off an FCS school.
That's amazing.
Opener.
Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful.
ESPN was all over it. Highlights last night. The Twitter world was going nuts about it.
Great job, man. That's awesome. I would also say they played Morehead State.
They did.
That's the first time that I've heard that name since being in college. And you remember the game hats?
Yeah,
those white hats, the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then there were certain schools that had certain appeal because of certain nicknames. Wichita State, for example, would be one. South Carolina was a very popular one. Morehead State, for whatever reason, was a very popular game hat. They were quite popular.
I think that show is 3 to 6 later on today here on the Fan.
I just said it was a very popular hat. That's all I said. It was a very popular hat when I was, and I have not heard that. I have not heard their institution since. But that's a hell of a win for Ohio Dominican. That's a great job.
And by the way, Bo, you were talking about Memphis, right?
Yeah.
This is the craziest thing I've ever seen. So I pulled up our lads to see if Aaron Nolan's the starter, and he's not. Aaron Nolan is listed as the backup. But they're two deep on our lads, which has a handful of 3 deep as well. Okay. They have 8 returning players. It's all gold.
Total?
It's all gold.
Total.
The whole thing is gold for transfers. Yep. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Marcus Stokes is their projected starter from West Florida.
Dude, the entire defense is in gold.
Yeah.
3 true freshmen, 8 returners, the rest gold transfers.
Wow. Isn't that something on Air Noland? So he went here, South Carolina there.
Yep.
Yeah. That's tough.
I know a lot of people said maybe Brian Hartline would go after Lincoln Kienholz. I thought Air Noland was the former Ohio State quarterback he might go after.
I mean, there's no reason for him to take strays on a Friday in Columbus, Ohio, where he was celebrated as a recruit and all of those things, but maybe he's just not any good.
I mean, I'm guessing that's probably it, right?
Yeah. Like sometimes you just miss. But sometimes you're not curated too. Like, do you land in a place that takes care of you, that nurtures you, that puts you in a position to succeed? All of those things. He probably was thinking when he went to South Carolina that Lenora Sellers would be gone and he'd be the starting quarterback in South Carolina this year.
It's one of those great unknowns. What if Julian Sayin doesn't show up at Ohio State?
Boy, that's it. Yeah. I imagine we're in Lincoln Kienhold's year 2 would be my guess. I think he probably would have beat him out, but I don't know. I'm curious what Lincoln looks like at Louisville this year. Yeah. That's wild. Yeah, all transfers on that depth chart from Memphis. So look, and by the way, you got a hell of a high school football slate tonight as well, Bake, including a big one that we have right on our air.
Yeah.
At ODU, right?
At Ohio Dominican, that's where Bishop Watterson plays their home games. They're taking on Pickerington Central. And I talked about this the other day. In the last 10 years, 4 state championships and 2 state runners-up between these two teams. And the crazy thing is, these are 2 behemoths. This may not even be close because Watterson's that damn good.
They're that good, yeah. Yeah, they're nuts. That Division II is an absolute behemoth. Jay Sherritt's not the coach at Central anymore, is it?
No, it's not. It's Jeff LaMonaco. Jay retired and then ended up down at his alma mater. He's the Circleville head coach now.
Oh my gosh, he when I was covering the high school football, he was one of my guys. There were so many of those great guys that it's really incredible what's happened with Central Ohio high school football in the last 15, 20 years. Like how elite, how many teams have won state titles, how the talent has come, the coaching, all of it. Like it was funny. I was reading something on, it was in that email that we got about Arch, and they were saying this is the kid from Eastmore. And it jumped out to him because at that time in the late 60s, early 70s, early 70s would have been what that was. Ohio State had very few kids from Central Ohio because Central Ohio didn't have great high school football in those. It was all Northeast Ohio, Cincinnati. That was really Youngstown, Steubenville, all of that area was really where a lot of the talent, Stark County, that's where a lot of the talent from Ohio State came from. And now look at it and think about all of the kids from Central Ohio who have become Buckeyes. It's really incredible what happened during that time. So good job at everybody involved there. All right, we had preseason football last night. Are we sure that they got all the right people in the quarterback competition up in Cleveland? Dylan Gabriel looked very good. We'll talk about that, the roster breakdown. Can the Browns and the Steelers both keep 4 quarterbacks? Among the questions we'll attempt to answer coming up next. We're off and running on a sort of football Friday. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
The sound of Paul Keels calling a Buckeye game is erotic.
Oh, yes.
Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
At Babs R Us, we believe home improvement is life improvement. As the Midwest's fastest growing 5-star bathroom remodeler, we're more than just transformations. We're a community driven by a mission to bring your dreams to life. Our installation team, part of the Babs R Us community, isn't just skilled. They're dedicated to respecting your home. Each day, they bring craftsmanship and hustle, turning your dream space, no matter the size, into reality. Together, we embrace a culture that values diversity, collaboration, and giving back. From supporting local projects to fostering a workplace where every voice is valued, Babs R Us is more than a company. It's a community of experts. We're also expanding locations to create more possibilities for homeowners across the Midwest. Wherever you are, you'll find us ready to turn your dreams into something you can see, feel, and enjoy every day. Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement, or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel. Plus, loan to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BAB to schedule your free estimate or go to babsrus.com. Babs R Us, where dreams soak in.
How do you know you got a great deal? You came to Cotland Chevrolet. Lease a new 26 Trax, only $129 a month. Lease a new 26 Silverado, $369 a month. Or get 0% financing and no payments for 90 days. Visit CotlandChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive.
Cotland has the car for you.
36-month lease, $44.98 due at signing. Includes $398 doc fee plus tax, title, and registration. 10,000 miles per year, 25 cents per mile over. 0% for 60 months equals $16.67 for 1,000 finance with approved credit through GM Financial. See dealer for details. Ends 8/31/26.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. When your joints hurt every day and you've been told you need surgery, all you got to do is make sure you do your homework. There's a lot of doctors that are going to try to force you under the knife, and they're going to force you for a joint replacement. But remember this, once you go and start putting hardware in there and you replace a joint, there's no going back. I've had multiple surgeries. I have hardware in my body. I don't want to do it again. And that's why I went and saw my friends at QC Kinetics to get a second opinion. I had some knee pain. It was bothering me. I went and talked to Dr. Tesner and his team about how they were going to use the regenerative treatments to help my body heal itself. It's unbelievable. It's great. They'll start with a consultation. They'll show you the healing tools. They'll show you what to do. Surgery is your choice, your body. You need to take care of it. So call QC Kinetics today for a second opinion. The consultation is totally free. Go to qckinetics.com/Columbus or call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
With Bet365 early payout, you win even if they lose. Get paid out instantly when your team goes up big, even if they blow the lead later. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio.
The magic of Harry Potter is now at Tim's. Choose your Hogwarts house donut, summon the refreshing flavor of sparkling Patronus, or seek out the delicious golden snitch Timbit. Try them all at Tim's.
At participating U.S. restaurants while supplies last.
Helping a new driver get ready for their road test? Here's a convenient new way to make the most of your 50 hours of required practice driving time. The Road Ready Ohio app, available now at no cost to new drivers and their families. Road Ready Ohio keeps track of your driving experience together, providing feedback and safe driving tips. It even generates the documentation you need for the Ohio BMV. The Road Ready Ohio app, free to download in the Apple and Google App Stores.
And now, Public Education Matters with Ohio Education Association President Jeff Wensing.
Public education matters, and attendance matters. Students who show up nearly every day to school can learn, grow, and thrive. But if they're not there, they miss important learning opportunities and can easily end up behind. Families and educators must be strong partners in making children's school attendance a priority this school year.
Public Education Matters, brought to you by the Ohio Education Association.
Join our resident gambling degenerates Steve Biddle and Scotty Vegas for On the Money, Sunday mornings at 9.
Presented by the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
The Fan. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We'll enjoy a mostly sunny sky for the rest of your Friday. Good stuff out there with highs in the lower 80s. There's a tiny chance a shower could pop up. Overnight, mostly clear skies, lows back around 60. For your weekend, mostly sunny on Saturday, 83. Warmer on Sunday, sunshine, 87. For The Fan, I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Justin Gertz.
Miss a little, miss a lot. Catch Bishop and Friends wherever you get your podcasts. It's free.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
The Fan. Keep your friends close and your producers closer. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Homes in Columbus know that August brings those aggressive yellow jackets and wasps. Don't wait for an invasion. Protect your property and family with the Rose Pest Solutions Home Service Program. The Rose Home Service Program provides year-round protection for one flat annual fee with regularly scheduled visits. Rose is local, family-owned, and trusted by your neighbors in Ohio for over 165 years. Get peace of mind today. Call 800-966-ROSE or visit rosepestsolutions.com. We had preseason football last night. Browns and Steelers both have 4 quarterbacks currently in the mix. Cutdown day is inevitably going to be Sunday, but you will start to hear names leaked out. For example, the Browns had one of these yesterday with Cedric Tillman, former third-round pick, who it was put out there that they were probably looking to cut him. So what that is if you are a team in the NFL and you want to take a flyer on a former third-round pick, then you know that Cedric Tillman is available. That's how that works. So you're going to see a lot of that in the next 48, 72 hours until cutdown day on Sunday. Last night, the Browns closed out the preseason. Did you guys watch any of this on Amazon Prime?
I watched a lot of it, more than I'd care to admit.
I did too. Al Michaels is my favorite legendary TV guy ever. He's my guy.
He was so good last night.
He was so great. It was story time with Uncle Al. Kirk played into it, asked him all sorts of questions, historical stuff. He's telling stories about doing Indians games on Monday Night Baseball in the late 80s. I mean, it was
he
just
remembered a guy
stuff.
who hit a home run, how many at-bats he had before he hit the home run, and how many people were in the stands on that Monday night game and the pitcher he faced.
40 years ago.
It's incredible.
Yeah, all doing so with his shirt sleeved rolled up and his shirt like unbuttoned to his navel with no jacket. He looked like Dean Martin at the Palm. 40. I mean, just an incredible. All of it won as big as possible. And you just thought I'm watching him just going like, this is so absurd. It was such a win, like just to listen to it. And then they brought Fitzpatrick in at some point, and then he was telling stories. Like it was just awesome. Like if you just like listening to a legend talk, because the game. I mean, none of these guys are really going to contribute. I mean, they're just not. The story was probably Dylan Gabriel, who really looked sharp in the entire first half, quarterbacking the Cleveland Browns. Todd Monken was asked about the situation Gabriel's been in and how he's handled it.
Well, that's great for him. I mean, I know it's been hard. I mean, let's be real about it, He's a prideful guy. He's had a lot of success in his career, and all he does is prepare. That's all he does. Come to work every day, prepares like a pro. You can see he can really operate. I mean, he gets it. He gets what we want to do. He has a certain confidence about him when he takes the field. And I'm fired up. We had a chance to meet a little bit before the game and talk about the things he wanted to get called, what he felt comfortable with. It's like having a coach. He's easy to kind of explain, like, hey, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. Like I always say, we don't need more plays. We need plays that you feel really comfortable with. So really happy for him.
Todd was also asked about the possibility of keeping 4 quarterbacks because Taylon Green played in this game as well, who they drafted in the 6th round out of Arkansas, and he flashed. The athleticism certainly did. Here's Coach Monken on that.
Sure. We got a lot of. That's why we played both of them, right? That's why we played them, to try and help us a little bit in terms of where we're at from a roster standpoint. So we got a lot to talk about because I thought they both did some really good things. I really think the way they played was how I thought they'd play, right? Dylan really within himself, very poised. And then Taylon was going to have some splash plays, some plays where you get him on the perimeter and use his athleticism as you keep working to refine his throwing ability. Not throwing, but his passing, right? So, again, it was fun to watch him play, but just like every position, we're going to have to cut it down. That's just, we can't keep everybody.
I don't know. I kind of think that there's a decent chance the Browns keep all 4. I kind of do. I just think that they drafted Dylan Gabriel to be a long-term backup quarterback, and what Todd Monken said in that first clip is exactly why. Because if something happened to either of the other quarterbacks, you can put Dylan in, and he can run the exact same stuff. Doesn't matter. Like he will step right in. He'll know the game plan. He'll know the calls, operation, everything. He'll walk in and do it. And the thing is wherever this goes beyond this, I just would be shocked if he wasn't involved. And I just think they're going to probably keep all 4 is what they'll end up settling on, which is tough because you're going to have to make a roster cut somewhere else.
Because the depth that the Browns are being challenged with at other positions makes me very nervous that 4 quarterbacks is the path they want to go to. But watching Dylan Gabriel just be competent last night in every phase of his game made me think that if the Browns don't keep him, some team's going to inquire about him, and some teams should. And this is his ceiling, is to be a competent backup. He's not going to go and light the world on fire, but he's not going to go and lose you football games. And so I think it'd be a win, absolutely, if the Browns could keep Dylan as that competent backup, whatever happens with QB1. But he's going to, I think, find success wherever he goes as being a solid backup quarterback. But, yeah, 4 quarterbacks, when you're as tested depth-wise as the Browns are at so many other positions. I mean, I guess the initial 53 you keep him unless you get an offer for a Dylan Gabriel that doesn't, I mean, nothing's going to wow you, but something you'd have to consider. I'd be surprised if 4 quarterbacks were around Monday, but it's only the initial 53.
So I guess I have kind of 3 quick questions on this.
Mm-hmm.
If all things were equal, physical ability, Dylan Gabriel's the best quarterback Cleveland has, right?
You mean like if they're all like create a player and they have the same physical attributes?
Yeah, like if Dylan was 6'3" and he's the best quarterback they have.
If Dylan was 6'3", he would have been the number 1 pick in the draft.
Number 2, and I've heard a lot of people say, well, maybe the Browns can trade Dylan Gabriel. I don't think he's the one they want to trade if they make a trade. And I don't know if they want to trade any of them, but you mentioned he's their backup for the next 10 years.
He could be, yeah.
Like, if somebody comes calling on Shedeur, I make it. I do it. Quite frankly.
I do too.
I
don't I would imagine they would. Yeah, I would imagine they'd be open to all of that. I think everybody is probably available. There's some certain non-availables like the bubble wrap guys, but I would assume that would be the case. The reason that Dylan would be coveted is not the right word, but the reason that he would be somebody that is attractive to a lot of NFL teams is because of what Todd said in that first answer. He's ready to go. Completely prepared to operate anything. So that's what's so appealing about him. Whereas, other situations, like if it was Taylor Green was dropped in, you'd have to build an entire offense around what he does best. To a certain degree, I think Shedeur and Deshaun are kind of in that boat, where you kind of build the system around what they do best. I think Dylan could kind of operate anything. And that's what makes it kind of tricky. Pittsburgh's in a similar spot. They played both of their quarterbacks last night. They played both guys they drafted in the last two drafts. Will Howard threw another interception in going 9 of 15, 69, 2 touchdowns and a pick, and then Drew Aller was 9 of 18 for 88 yards. Mike McCarthy sounds like he's going to keep all 4 too. He said, quote, "I feel good about the quarterback room. I've been saying it for quite some time, and they've showed it on the field. We got 2 veterans that we can win with, and we got 2 young guys that we're excited about the future." None of these guys, I do think one of the things that's happening in the league, guys, I think people are worried about what happened with Darnold. And they're worried about what happened with Bake.
I just don't think you can be that scared.
But I think they are. Yeah. I mean, that's what these guys are. I think in the back of their minds, like, God, I don't want to give up on somebody in case they turn into that somewhere else, and then we look like idiots.
Those were first-round picks, though, high in the draft. These are third-round pick, sixth-round pick.
But how do you else explain it? Why are they worried about keeping Will and Drew and Mason Rudolph and Aaron Rodgers? Why are the Browns worried about keeping 4 quarterbacks?
The Mason Rudolph thing is fascinating. The Browns, I think, are a little hamstrung with Deshaun's contract, and that's why. I don't know who Mason Rudolph has pictures of in the Steelers organization, but it's someone high up. You have no reason to keep him on your team this year.
Well, I would agree. I would just say Drew or Will can back him up. And the reality is, if something happens to Rodgers, what are you playing for anyway? Right? I mean, play one of the young kids and see if either one of them hit. Same thing in Cleveland. Like, if this doesn't work with Watson, then play Shedeur until it doesn't work with him, and then play Dylan, play Taylor, play whatever. But, the whole point is you just got to make sure that one of these guys, you have enough of a data points on them that you can decide if you have to go back into the quarterback roulette next year. That's what most of these teams, unless you have Josh Allen, unless you have one of those guys, that's what you're doing. It's game week. Next week, Buckeyes and Ball State. It has been a long slog to get to this point. The Buckeyes chomping at the bit to get going. We'll get into that in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Common Man here for my friends at Care Heating and Cooling. Summertime napping season is upon us. What's that mean? Well, that means for me, a little nap on the leather couch. I got the ceiling fan on, but if that AC's not working properly, that nap turns into crap. Am I right? You got to make sure that AC's in tip-top shape, and the only people to call are my friends at Care Heating and Cooling. The message on their homepage says, "We care about your comfort," because they do. If you're not comfortable in your own home, they start to get itchy and scratchy. Here's what you need to know about my friends at Care. They've won the Lennox Centurion Award for 17 years in a row. Now, if you're not in the biz, you don't know what that is, but I'm going to tell you, it's given to the top 5% of Lennox dealers in the country each year. Their service techs are the best in the business, and there's not a problem they can't solve, except maybe the meaning of life. They had no answer when I asked them. But think about living without central AC. Mess you up. My friends at Care also have easy online scheduling. CareHeatingandCooling.com. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING when you need a company you can trust.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. I am quite aware of the dangers being on the road. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. These families' lives will be changed in an instant. We fight for these families as if they were our own. We've become America's largest injury law firm by winning cases just like these. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Injured? Dial pound law.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Common Man here for Germain Hyundai, where right now $99 a month gets you your choice of a 2026 Hyundai Elantra or a 2026 Hyundai Kona. A brand new Hyundai for just $99 a month. And only at Germain, get free gas lasts for 3 months. And with Jermaine's $1,000 price promise, no one will sell you a Hyundai for less. Find your $99 Hyundai today at GermainHyundai.com. With approved credit, Elantra $44.95 down, Kona $39.95 down, plus tax title, first month's payment, 7,500 miles per year, ends 8/31.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
What's up? What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by Apex Pros. The pros who knows.
Well, here's what's up. A week from now, it'll be a Football Friday. The Buckeyes will be a little more than 24 hours away from putting toe to ball against Ball State. 12:30 kick on BTN to open the season for the Buckeyes. 50.5? 50.5 is the number?
It's a whole lot of points.
Give me Ball State. Like, geez. I mean, does Ohio State do enough plays to get to that point? I mean, the way they coached it last year, I just, even if it's 42-0 at half, I mean, you got to get touchdowns on every possession, and you got to, I don't know, that seems like a lot.
Arthur
considering
Smith's
how they
coming
play.
in, opening up.
What's that?
Arthur Smith coming in. He's going to open it up.
The over-under is 56.5. So,
Okay.
That's insane. 50.5.
The line's 50.5.
Enjoy
your 6, Ball State.
So they're basically,
you have to shut them out and score on every possession.
49-0 is what would be required to get the under. You can see a late touchdown, Ball State making it 49-7. 56-7 wouldn't even do it. Good grief. That's brutal. This has been a long off season. It's been a long camp, and everyone is excited to see what this team's all about. This is going to be a fascinating year in college football. We're going to get you completely set for it next week, but just think about the uncertainty. I was listening to Mike Elko had a press conference yesterday, the Texas A&M head coach. He had a press conference yesterday, and he was talking about, he said this out loud, and we talk about it all the time, but it's interesting to hear a coach talk about it. He said there are games tomorrow, and I think he had this availability Wednesday. So there are games tomorrow, and I don't even know who's eligible on my roster. And he's right. Nobody does. Nobody knows who's eligible. Nobody knows who's not. Everybody's got 50 new guys. Like, this is going to be a wild season of college football, and I think a wide open season. And one of the things that I do think is going to happen is there are going to be multiple 3-loss teams that make the playoff. By multiple, I mean more than one. I think there's going to be multiple 2-loss teams that make the playoff because so many of these teams are going to cannibalize each other as this season goes along. For Ohio State, so much of the faith in them being the number one team in the country is that offense. It's a Heisman quarterback back. It is the best player in college football back. It's the depth. It's everything that we all see that nets the Buckeyes that number one spot. And I do think a big reason Ohio State's number one, and it's by such a wide margin, I think that surprised a lot of us, is just because the Buckeyes are a very safe pick. And I can embarrass you as a pollster. You put them number one in your preseason, they're not going to finish outside of the top 25 like Clemson and Penn State did a year ago when people had them with number one overall votes in the preseason. That's not going to happen. Worst case scenario, they're going to go 10-2 and be smack dab in the middle of the playoff. That's the worst of it. Best of it, perhaps you have a team that can win a national championship again. Julian Sayan's going to be at the center of all of this. What does year 2 look like for him? He got a big honor before the season even started. Here's Jules on the idea of being a captain at Ohio State.
Yeah, I mean, it means so much to me to be a captain. The history and the tradition of this program, and I really just can't put it into words that my teammates selected me and the 6 others because it's truly a great honor.
Yeah, and new faces in that captain role. Julian on the offensive side. We talked about Brandon Ennis and Jeremiah Smith and Austin Sarivold. Those guys are old hat in terms of Ennis and Sarivold. Smith, we talked about yesterday, kind of what is capable for him. Peyton Pierce could be one of the faces of this defense. Here's Peyton Pierce on the surprise of being named a captain.
It means a lot. That meant a ton to me. I didn't know that if I was going to be voted captain or not. The night before I was kind of thinking about it a little bit. So it was relieving hearing my name, being called, and it means a ton to me. It means more than a lot of things because being voted by your peers to lead them is a huge honor. It's like one of the biggest honors in this program, and seeing the captains before me, it's a huge role, and I know a standard I have to play at and lead at, and so I'm ready to go do that.
Yeah, he's going to be in the middle of this thing. I was taking a look at some. Go ahead, Beck.
I was just going to say, I'll never forget, and I think it was right after, because I don't think James could talk about him before he signed, but after he committed.
You can't talk about one yet until you sign. You can't talk about it.
Yeah, so it was right after National Signing Day when Peyton Pierce signed, and I don't know if I was in that day or if I was just listening to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember James talking about this kid before he even stepped on campus at Ohio State.
Yep.
And played it down. I remember him talking about this kid, and boy, is everything he said back then coming to fruition.
He knows a little bit about linebackers.
Just
as it turns
a little.
out. Yeah. I mean, he went into both Sonny and Arvell because they were both kind of position agnostic, and nobody knew what to do with them. And he went into both of them and said, they're linebackers, they'll be first-round picks, and they both were. And then you land Peyton Pierce, and now he's going to be a captain, and you're hearing great things about Riley Pettijohn. And so, yeah, I mean, this is kind of where you're at, and that's kind of that never-ending thing that we're on here in terms of Buckeye football. And so next week we'll get set for it, take a look at everything we learned around the country, make some prognostications. We talked about Jeremiah yesterday. He has had some high praise for some of the guys in his room. Let's start with Jeremiah on Legend Bay, who's getting more than a little bit of buzz.
I think I said this back in spring. I said to Luke Montgomery, I said, before Legend Bay leave Ohio State, he'll be a Heisman finalist or he'll end up winning it. And the things he's been doing in practice has been pretty special for sure.
So if that's high praise, obviously. They gave him number 2. That tells you about all you need to know about what they expect for him to be able to do. Obviously, there are some issues because we haven't always seen him in number 2. Sometimes he's in another number. We missed him the first few days of camp, so they're trying to get him kind of all ducks in a row on him. But everything you're hearing from practices is that he's absolutely popping. Add to that Brock Boyd, who we've had whispers about, who, by the way, he's now in the NCAA video game, and I saw that he had a problem with being a 70 overall. He actually tweeted them. I got to talk to somebody at EA about being a 70. Jeremiah Smith did have some high praise for Brock Boyd as well. This was on the Triple Option podcast with Urban and those guys.
What do you call Brock Boyd?
White Lightning.
You call him White Lightning. Does he deserve it?
Yeah, for sure.
How so?
He's just fast. He knows everything that he's doing. Very smart football player, and going to make a lot of big plays for us this season.
When you first looked at him, were you like, who is this guy, or does he cut the figure?
No, I actually knew who he was from high school. I mean, everybody was telling me he got all these type of yards and all these type of touchdowns in high school, so he was pretty good coming in.
I'll tell you what, to have a name, White Lightning, is he fast, Jeremiah Smith, or fast or just fast?
He's fast. I won't say he as fast as me, but he can run for sure.
So if you wanted to know why Ohio State didn't shed a tear with Mylan Graham or Quincy Porter, this group of freshmen is why. So it's not just Brock Boyd and everything that he's going to bring to the table, the incredible production at South Lake Carroll. It's also Legend Bay and his start-stop ability and kind of a true weapon. I mean, if we used to say this all the time, Urban was always looking for a Percy Harvin type. Always was looking for one of those. Jalen Marshall was probably the closest around here. Curtis Samuel did it a little bit. But Legend is that type. And we didn't even talk about Chris Henry yet, who looks like Predator. He's like 6'6". So, like, why weren't they worried about Mylan Gray and Quincy Porter going to Notre Dame and probably one of them at least starting, maybe both? This is why.
Yeah, and it's, not to say that those two guys were bad because they'll probably be very productive for Notre Dame this season. I think there might, some questions, obviously, is how well they're going to integrate, but this is the continuation of wide receiver U. Mm-hmm. I do know LSU's is a claimant to it. They're one. There's certainly a wide receiver U, but for Ohio State, like, the pipeline's never run dry. And I think both of those players that went into the transfer portal saw that. Because how do you not? When you get on the field, you can't lie to the players.
No, they know.
And seeing how some of these guys just do everything so effortlessly. Like Chris Henry does everything effortlessly. Brock Boyd is making seasoned college football defenders look silly on this Ohio State team. Like, you look at that and you go, there's no chance for me here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the numbers are going to be for him, but there's no player on the Ohio State roster that I'm more excited to watch this year than Chris Henry Jr. Mm-hmm. And just see what kind of influence he has on the game, has on this team, and if he truly is, and I believe he is next in that wide receiver room at Ohio State.
Can you imagine, like, being defenses and having Jeremiah on one side and Chris on the other? Like, just just in the red zone, the problems that's going to present, it's going to be a scene, man, that side of it. Doug's coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
The Buckeyes are number one, and you can hear all the games here on The Fan, which is also number one. Coincidence? I think not. Your home of champions, The Fan.
It's likely you've made peace with the congestion that greets you every morning. The snoring your partner stopped mentioning. It feels unfixable, but it isn't. For most, it's a nasal breathing problem that's treatable for good.
I'm Dr. Kandula, founder of Advent. Advent can deliver long-term results in about 20 minutes with simple in-office procedures. We diagnose and treat the root cause of nasal congestion, sinus pressure, sleep apnea, snoring, and allergies. 96% of patients with severe nasal breathing issues report improvement, and most major insurance plans are accepted.
Wake up and smell the life you've been missing. The family picnic, the run by the lake, the fresh cut grass. Breathe deep, sleep through the night, and step into every day sharper and more present. It's time for a new beginning. It's the advent of your best life.
Coghlan Kia of Dublin is now open, and we're offering grand opening savings at all 4 Coghlan Kia locations. Get 0% financing on select new 26 Kia Sportage and Sorrento. Pay 0 out of pocket when you lease a new 27 Seltos or 26 Sportage for $375 a month for 36 months. Get grand opening savings at Coghlan Kia.
Coghlan has the car for you.
With approved credit, 0% for 48 months equals $20.83 per 1,000 finance through Kia Motor Finance. Leases include 10,000 miles per year with 20 cents per mile over penalty. Excludes tax, title, and registration. No security deposit. See dealer for details. Ends 8/31/26.
Steve Air with USA Insulation. Let's do some quick math together. Your energy bill this summer, probably one of the highest you've ever paid. Now imagine that same bill all winter long. That's what you're going to be looking at if you don't fix your insulation. You can still get the best deal of the year. We foam your walls. We insulate your attic for free. That ends August 31st. You don't want to miss it. The insulation pays for itself in energy savings. Call before August 31st for your free attic insulation. 529-2440 or usainsulation.net.
USA Insulation.
Welcome back to Yeah, That's a Pepper Thing. First up, we've got Harrison wrapping his Dr. Pepper in a tiny quilt so it feels at home. Oh, how tender. That's a Pepper Thing. And over to Becca, who's whispering affirmations to her can.
You're sweet. You're unique. You're the best thing I ever poured over ice.
She swears it makes it taste better. It's not a science thing, but it's a Pepper Thing. Why do they all do it? All for that sweet, delicious, truly one-of-a-kind taste of Dr. Pepper. It's a Pepper Thing.
Remember the old days when football used to have an off-season? Well, we at The Fan think that really sucked. That's why we bring you Austin and Berm, America's #1 resource for Buckeye football conversation, is voted by Fake Surveys Incorporated. Catch their daily podcast called The Beat and their breaking news podcast, Snap Judgments, as they broadcast live from Roosters on Mondays, and they come right to your house and massage your tender areas. They'll do it all. Austin and Berm on The Fan's YouTube channel and 10 TV Plus.
He was born here, started a business here, and raised his own family here. For Vivek Ramaswamy, his Ohio roots go deep. That's why he cares so much about our state and will never stop fighting to lower costs for working families, because Ohio's his home. Apurva Ramaswamy knows why her husband fights for us.
No one knows Vivek like I do. Growing up in Cincinnati made my husband into the man he is. He went to public schools that taught him to work hard. This state gave him opportunities he could never have dreamed of. It's why Vivek cares so much about fighting for all of us, because the system's rigged against the people we care about, and that's not fair. I know how much he cares about improving people's lives and how much he loves this state. That's why we need him as governor.
Fighting for his home and all Ohioans. Vivek Ramaswamy for governor.
Paid for by Vivek Ramaswamy and Rob McCauley for Ohio.
We at The Fan have created a show where you can be a homer, a hater, or whatever you want to be. Sunday mornings at 8.
It's the Fan Call-In Show, presented by the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966. The Fan Poll is sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub, home of award-winning pizza and $2 tall boys. All day, every day.
Sports conversation that's worthy of a toast, or at least a stiff drink. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, a little earlier than normal, but on a Football Friday nonetheless. Our good buddy Doug Lesmerises, the Bill and Doug Show, joining us on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. We had a little maybe precedent setting this week. In all my years covering college athletics, buddy, I never saw an instance where the Big Ten did it first and the SEC followed suit. They kind of made their own rule.
Yeah.
And everybody followed.
The SEC kind of talked it, and then the Big Ten just came in and walked it and said, yeah, we're going to do this.
They did.
And I was like, oh, yeah, okay. Welcome to the new reality. Yeah, so, I mean, I will say, right, the Big Ten tried to lead during COVID, and nobody followed, right? Yeah. So, like, that was one of those of like, hey, let's not play, and then it was like, actually, no, everybody wants to play. So I think it mattered, right? It's just like another thing on the pile of and this is one of those things that this is a little interesting test of like self-governance, right? That's the thing that the SEC has thrown out, like, well, if we can't make all rules together, we'll make our own rules. It's like here the conferences are making their own rules, but the Big Ten made it first, and then everyone else kind of just did the same rule anyway. So I did note that, Bo. I did note that the Big Ten led on that. I found it interesting as well.
Yeah, so that part, and then the next part is now maybe, I mean, is this kind of how this is going to go? Like, as opposed to, like, leaning on Congress, which is never going to do anything, or hoping that the NCAA, which they kind of all are, do you think there's perhaps a precedent here that maybe these two conferences in major college football only, because the other is a whole different can of worms, maybe that they can have some sort of a pathway here for governance?
I mean, right? I mean, it's states versus federal, right? That will, you know, are we doing it all? Are we letting everybody kind of do their own thing, but maybe you'll all arrive at similar conclusions. So the thing that would be dangerous, and not dangerous, but weird, is if the SEC was just like, you know what, bring on the pros. They'll make our teams better.
Yes.
And the other conferences were like, this doesn't make sense for college football. And the SEC was like, we will take every 25-year-old millionaire we can get because we want to win. And then what? Mm-hmm. And then would the Big Ten be like, well, now we're not going to play people who have pros on their teams and then that's where it gets complicated. This was easy because individually, all the conferences arrived at the same conclusion.
Yeah.
I guess the Big East in basketball has not gotten there. Like, that would be interesting if Connecticut's like, yeah, we'll have pros. Who cares, right? So that's the thing where I don't know. Like, that's where the rubber meets the road on, okay, if you have vastly different rules and someone's decision gives them a huge competitive advantage as you are all chasing the same national championship, then what? So that's why I kind of don't like everyone doing their own thing. But this is, again, a good test case. But then, like, what would you do then, Bo? What's the answer if the SEC says, yes, we're not doing that, we're playing pros? Would the Big Ten would just say, okay, that's your decision? But then when you get to a playoff semifinal, if there's a bunch of former NFL guys on SEC teams, that's an advantage.
My hunch is the Big Ten is finally in a position of enough power that it can influence, that probably they could say, fine, go it alone. Good luck to you. I don't think it's going to come to that. I think the SEC is too smart. I think the SEC realizes they're not in a position of power anymore, Doug. There's really nowhere else they can go from an expansion standpoint to add teams that would add to their value. Financially, they're not as well off as the Big Ten. They're never going to be. And in terms of their individual teams, they don't have the NIL backing that a lot of these Big Ten teams have in general. Sure, Texas does, A&M. But in general, they don't. LSU does. But the old guard SEC doesn't. The Bamas, the Floridas, the Georgias, those they don't. And so the Tennessee sort of does. But the point is, I think that for the first time, the Big Ten is negotiating from a true position of power right now in the sport. And so they took advantage of it. And I've been really critical of Petiti because I didn't hear from him for like 2 years. But and he got his extension this week. He's had a really good last year, Doug.
He has. And it is like the football led the way, but then everyone fell in line and said, you know what? We're good at football. Let's do this thing. And you and I thought they were slow on that, but it feels like they are there now. it feels like this TV guy maybe is the right guy for the moment. And if we think that he does things that aren't good for the Big Ten or for Ohio State, we'll certainly say that down the line. But Jim Delaney was a huge, staunch advocate for the Big Ten for a very, very long time as the commissioner. He wasn't always saying and doing the things that people wanted, right? If he's threatening, if we pay players, we'll go D3, some of that ridiculous stuff, but he did have power. And then there was a little bit of that power vacuum in between there after Delaney. And now it feels like because of the football, because of the changes in the sport, and by the way, Tony Petitti seems competent, they've gotten sort of some of that power off the field back while they clearly also have power on the field.
Absolutely. Next week, we'll have a full game week. I'm going to end up watching a lot of this stuff over the weekend. We'll have week one. It's been a very long kind of off season for everybody and a very long camp for Ohio State. You've been at these availabilities. You were at the open practices, 50 new guys, number one team in the country. As you've listened to these players talk and you've tried to figure out some of the storylines that are going to be there this season, what jumps out to you as, I'll be interested to see how they answer that question.
The second receiver stuff, the continued conversation around Brock Boyd and Chris Henry Jr., that Devin McEwen looked so good in the first three practices we got to see early in camp. It feels like they are going to feed Jeremiah. He averaged 8.2 targets per game last season. I think he can get to 10, right? That's the norm. We're going to at least throw 10 passes a game at this guy. Arthur Smith wants to feed his playmakers like he did Derrick Henry. I think that's real, and I announced this on our show the other night, Bo, and I'll announce it again here. I'm officially in on the Ohio State offense. I know that's a bold thing to say.
Jeez.
When you have Jeremiah Smith and Julian Sayin, but I'm in. And I did think, as Austin Saraveld on Wednesday night explained, they kind of told me since the summer I've kind of been working at right guard, and it kind of felt like it was going that way. That just told me that Ian Moore at left tackle, Saraveld at right guard was what they wanted to do. They tried other looks, but they wound up at the thing that they preferred. And they know better than me. What do you prefer? I just always like when plan A works. Yeah. Right. So whatever your plan is, if you can do your plan, great. If you're like, well, we were going to do this and then we couldn't, and we were going to do that, and then it's like, ooh, then I get worried. So I think Ian Moore at left tackle locks that offensive line into place. I think everything that Jeremiah has said and they've said is right, is what you want to hear, and everything that everyone said about Julian Sayin is what you want to hear. So give me that O-line, that quarterback, that number one receiver, and that play caller with Arthur Smith. Let the rest sort itself out, and I think it's probably the best offense in the country.
I would concur, my friend, as DiCaprio said, and catch me if you can. Great stuff. Next week we're doing a game, buddy. It's going to be fun.
Love it. Thanks for having me, brother.
All right, there he goes. The great Doug Lesmerises, the Bill and Doug Show. They do Ohio State football. They do it at BillAndDougShow.com. Mr. Lesmerises joining us on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. What we've learned this week coming up next, along with Mr. Feinbob at 10:30, Bishop and Friends, right here on the Fan.
Never have I been so excited to get a whiff of sweaty jock straps. It's Football Friday.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Yay, football, the Fan.
My book club president says reading is, quote, not a competition. Well, I finished the book in one night anyway, so I win, Patty. I also got $365 in bonus bets just for betting $10 when I signed up for Bet365. No cliffhangers here, Patty. Just a happy ending. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Claim in app. T&Cs apply.
The magic of Harry Potter is now at Tim's. Choose your Hogwarts house donut. Summon the refreshing flavor of sparkling Patronus, or seek out the delicious golden snitch Timbit. Try them all at Tim's.
At participating U.S. restaurants while supplies last.
When your furnace or air conditioner stops working, you can always rely on Atlas Butler to get it up and running the same day. So why not depend on Atlas Butler for all your plumbing needs? Our expert plumbers can take care of anything from a clogged drain to a broken water heater. We work on all brands of water heaters and plumbing equipment. One call does it all.
Atlas Butler.
summer, there are 250 reasons to join T-Mobile.
Girls trip? Booked. And switching to T-Mobile helped make it happen.
With Experience Beyond, switch and get $100 back. Plus, $650 in value in built-in plan benefits. That's $750 in your first year, guaranteed.
And honestly, that $100 back, I'm putting it towards the zip line.
Now that's how you do summer.
Exactly. Best switch I ever made.
This is just one reason to join T-Mobile this summer. There are 250 reasons. Find yours.
Savings based on the value of benefits included with Experience Beyond, like entertainment and 1 year of AAA Classic and Dash Pass on us. Benefits may require activation. See plan for details. Get $100 via virtual prepaid MasterCard with eligible ported, no cash access, and expires in 6 months. Issued by Sunrise Banks, N.A. member FDIC, and allow 8 weeks.
Matt, are you still driving that great car you got from McDaniel GM Superstore?
Every day, man. Bought it there, no regrets, no hidden fees, and no games.
The 26 Silverado 1500. Right now, save up to $13,000 off MSRP.
13 grand? Wow.
And 0% APR for 60 months.
Or lease one for as low as $339 a month.
Terms and conditions apply for qualified buyers. McDaniel GM Superstore, north on 23 off Route 95 in Marion. McDanielGMSuperstore.com.
Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Looking to launch a career in the skilled trades but don't know where to begin? Part-time service in the Ohio Army National Guard can help. You can kickstart your career by enlisting in one of our many trades-based jobs. Get paid to learn these skills and gain on-the-job training when you report to your unit 1 weekend a month or 2 weeks in the summer. To learn how the Guard can pay for your civilian trade certification, visit nationalguard.com/OH. Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard in coordination with the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Leon was about to leave the military.
My biggest concern was, what am I going to do next?
He found out about My Computer Career and their military transition program.
The Cyber Warrior program takes you from not knowing anything about a computer at all to being a subject matter expert.
How long is that going to take?
In the span of 4 months, I was able to get 4 different certifications.
4 months? Leon's advice?
Highly recommended.
Become a certified cyber warrior in just months at mycomputercareer.edu. This is one student's experience. Individual results vary. VA education benefits available to those who qualify.
You know what hope is? Hope is action. Carving a path forward, even when it's hard.
And kids who still know how to dream. They're the best pathfinders of all.
So at Child Fund, hope means helping millions of children living in poverty worldwide to grow up healthy, educated, skilled, and so all those good things can come true for them, safe.
And that means safe at home, safe at school, and safe online.
Hope means walking this path together, all of us. Because when we work together, we can do so much more.
That's right. Hope includes you.
Child Fund, because we need each other.
To learn how Child Fund works with children in 23 countries to help them achieve their full potential, visit childfund.org. That's childfund.org.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. College football's Week 0 starts tomorrow at noon. TCU battles North Carolina in Dublin, Ireland. One Big Ten team's in action Saturday. San Jose State's at number 14 USC at 3:30. The number 1 team in the country's in action next Saturday. Ohio State hosts Ball State at 12:30. Buckeyes are 50.5-point favorites against the Cardinals. On the field last night, Division II Ohio Dominican up in Delaware went down to Kentucky and beat FCS Morehead State in triple overtime 42-40. It's Week 2 in the high school football season. Our game of the week is at Ohio Dominican tonight. Bishop Watterson battles Pickerington Central. The Golden Eagles haven't lost a game since 2023. Tyler Danberg is going to be on the call. Skip Mossick's going to have pregame coverage at 6:30. And the NFL preseason wraps up this weekend. Browns beat the Patriots last night. Bengals are at the Eagles tonight at 8. This update is sponsored by Roosters. Roosters is giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences, tickets, sideline passes, and trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Register at roosterswings.com.
The uncle you never knew you had. The friends you kind of wish you didn't. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, second hour on a sort of Football Friday edition of the program. Mr. Feinbaum dropping by in 29 minutes from now. Let's kick off hour 2 with what we learned this week, boys.
We're not not trying to do too much around here, but over the course of 5 days, you might have gleaned some stuff. Bishop and Friends present What We've Learned This Week.
Yeah, I mean, I think what it starts with is, and probably the headline of the week, is that the Big Ten and the SEC created a rule. And the Big Ten did it first. The SEC talked, Big Ten acted, put in rules, put in penalties, including what I thought was pretty brilliant, a half-season ban for the coach to go with the coach who takes a player who was previously in an NFL camp and signed an NFL contract. So that's positive. I think if you're looking for guardrails on the sport, that's a very positive one. I think the SEC did take it to a pretty big step with half of the revenue from the football program would then be used as fine. That would be debilitating for every program. Now, it seems like LSU is going to fight this, and the state of Louisiana is going to fight it, so this is essentially going to be LSU suing LSU on this thing. All the while, you have this you guys put this in the prep. I saw this yesterday and I forgot about it. Tommy Castellanos, who was at Florida State last year most recently. Before that, he was at Boston College with Bill O'Brien. Before that, he's at UCF. He's now at Texas Tech. And apparently he can be so because he was only in a rookie minicamp tryout with the Dolphins as a wide receiver. So he's another one of those. He's another one of those class of 22s, five to play five guys. So I guess what I think is going to be a really slippery slope here is if you bend the rules on this, like if he had a tryout at a rookie minicamp, that doesn't count. But if he was on a rookie roster, that does. I think that's a very slippery slope. And I'm curious how any of this holds up in litigation. But the thing that we learned, and honestly, ironically enough, with Texas Tech and Brendan Sorsby is if college football bands together and actually does something for the greater good, they can enforce some rules. So we'll see if these conferences hold firm on all of this.
So the Castellanos TRO was filed in Kentucky. There's one in Texas currently, and then there's the LSU one, which is the LSU players or the players that are transferring into Ole Miss. And I do think this is Lane Kiffin playing chicken with the rest of college football, because I understand there's WNBA players on college basketball rosters, there's NBA players on college basketball rosters, and I think generally college sports fan or college football fan isn't too worried about that. So it feels like Lane Kiffin's on an island that's increasingly shrinking, and the rest of the coaches, like you heard from Dan Lanning last week, you heard from Ryan Day earlier this week, that are against this. And any judge, any lawyer can rule and say, all right, well, you've colluded against these certain players. This injunction must stand. But a judge can't make a player or make a coach play a player. Like, you might be able to force him onto a roster, but Ryan Day, if a judge tells Ryan Day, hey, you got to play this player, Ryan Day is going to have some choice words. And a few of them I can say on the air. So if it's just LSU and maybe a handful of other schools, those schools start to whittle as I think more and more coaches put them on blast and say, we're not interested in doing that.
The Castellanos thing is also Texas Tech. I don't believe the Big 12 has jumped into what everybody else was doing, correct?
They have.
Okay.
They do, but they're it's not quite as firm as the Big Ten's ruling in terms of the penalties. And they're thinking their belief is that because he wasn't ever he was in a tryout, he wasn't on an NFL roster, that is the slippery slope that they're hoping they can slide down to put him onto Texas Tech. Because he wasn't on a quote on a roster. But that's the thing where you get into trouble. To me, this has to be black and white, finite. Yeah, exactly. Bird law, no gray area. Yes, no, that's it, done. Otherwise, you get into a mound of trouble, and they're going to get into trouble in basketball with all of this.
Maybe this is where the Big Ten, the SEC, the ACC, those need to put some pressure on the Big 12 and say, no, we're not going to play you anymore if you're doing this. I mean, I think that's the thing we've learned through all of this, and again, it kind of started with the Brennan Sorsby situation, is when these schools band together, they can get stuff done, and that's the way it's supposed to be because these schools are the NCAA. And if something's not right, go ahead and make it. And like we've talked about, and it's why courts have been getting involved in this, and I understand there are discrimination issues where you have to have laws like this where these places can't just make up their own rules about who's coming in here or not. But the only people that are getting discriminated against here are people that went on to play professional and now want to come back and gain their, quotes, amateur status again.
That's exactly right. I mean, this is going to get tricky. Yesterday, and you alluded to this, Bake, a Dallas judge signed an order that prohibits the NCAA, the SEC, and its commissioner, Greg Sankey, from stopping a group of athletes, 3 of whom are currently listed on NFL rosters, from returning to college sports for one more season of play. It's Cowboys wide receiver Jordan Hudson, who I believe was an SMU guy, Kansas City Chiefs linebacker Wesley Bizainth, and Chiefs wide receiver Amari Evans are among 41 players listed as plaintiffs in a restraining order. There's a bunch of them in this that basically, and this judge is saying, yeah, you can't. As long as, this was the judge's ruling, as long as they would have been eligible to continue playing college sports in the following semester, if they had a 5th year of eligibility, they are eligible today. You got to be willing to fight all this. Got to be willing to fight it. And just reminder to the audience that so this is under the NCAA's new 5 for 5, of which I don't know why. I guess I know why they did it. They went to 5 for 5 so they could avoid litigation. That's really what they were trying to do, is avoid litigation. But in doing so, they retroactively made, or that's judges are finding that they retroactively made everybody from the 2022 class eligible. That's what's happened here. Now, I don't know why. I don't know if there was a way in the NCAA's infinite wisdom when they went to the 5 for 5 to make it like post whatever date designation. We're going to do this. I don't know if they neglected to do that or if judges are just going past that. I have no idea. But that's where all of this sticky stuff is happening. And so the question, if you're the SEC and the Big Ten, is are you going to be willing to fight these court battles where you're clearly going to lose, as they just lost yesterday? So are you willing to fight them? And if you're not willing to fight them, are you willing to, are you willing to fight them and with the understanding that these plaintiffs will have probably not as deep a pockets as you to fight back? But these stays that continue to happen are going to make them eligible in the meantime. So honestly, guys, I kind of get the feeling that maybe as more and more of these rulings come in, that this might be something that they just aren't able to fight in a timely enough manner. Because you guys know that these stays happen and then there's an appeal of the stay and they're never heard in a timely manner. What a mess.
Yeah, for reference, the one in Texas is 14 days, and they'll have another hearing on September 11th.
Yeah. And
so at that point, is anybody involved with any of these universities interested in doing a court thing? No. I think to Ohio State, and on September 11th, that weekend, it's everybody from the football program's dialed into the football season. Ross Bjork's dialed into making money for the team for the football season. Like, nobody's got time or really energy to battle this stuff.
No.
You mentioned the time, and you talked about Mike Elko's comments where he's like, you got games starting. We don't know who's eligible or not. Mm-hmm. Well, that's where the universities just take over and say you're not. Right?
Yeah, and then you got to be able to stand up to litigation.
And I do think Ryan Day had a good point where he said our roster's set.
What litigation, though, do the way they're doing this? Like, if you're penalizing the coaches, like if this guy's on I think I'm on the team. How can there be litigation? Like, if the coaches are just like, well, we're not playing them.
No, I understand that, and I'm with you. And I was under the impression, I really thought that penalizing the coaches would make the damages harder to prove because the damages are to the coaches. But obviously, it didn't take very long for there to get somebody pretty organized on this front. My hunch is that this is player agents that are funding this.
It has to be. I think agents. Of the Browns tight end whose name escapes me, but his agent or representation, Rosenhaus, is leading a lot of this.
Yeah, their case is the latest in a growing number of legal challenges to the eligibility rules. The judge's order in the Dallas case is the first to specifically block a conference from creating rules that could punish schools in their league for signing any of the plaintiffs. The order specifically says that the NCAA, SEC, and Sankey cannot block the players' return based on transfer portal rules or their time on a pro roster. Also states that if any of those groups want to prohibit any of the plaintiffs for a different reason, they would need to come to court and argue their case in front of the judge. All of this takes time, a lot of time. So we'll see where this all shakes out, but that's a pretty interesting ruling coming out of Texas yesterday. Next week, around this time, we will attempt to know the scores. It's week 0, baby. We've got some scores, a little bit of a practice edition of The Scores coming your way next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Wake up with the Fan. Eat lunch with the Fan. Go to bed with the Fan. Dream about the Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan.
Common Man here for Universal Windows Direct. Fall is around the corner, so if replacing your windows has been sitting on your to-do list, now's the time to get it done. Cross it off for good. Call my guys at Universal Windows Direct. Buy 4 windows, you get 4 free, plus 48 months of 0% interest financing, same as cash. And, of course, they back everything up with their lifetime warranty. Call now for a free home estimate, 614-502-5220, universalwindowsdirect.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows. Hey, it's Common Man. Everybody's talking about affordability these days, but the good news is you'll find hundreds of vehicles that fit your budget at GoGermain.com. Drive home in a new sedan starting at just $139 a month. New SUVs from only $189 a month, or a truck for as low as $329. Plus, choose from over 1,700 new and pre-owned vehicles, all priced under $30K, and it's only at GoGermain.com. And with their $1,000 price promise, no one's going to sell you a car for less. Go see my friends today. GoGermain.com.
Something big has just dropped at Hothead Burritos. Introducing barbecue pork carnitas. Juicy, mouth-watering pork carnitas. Our limited-time new citrus chipotle barbecue sauce. Savor the summer flavor. Hothead Burritos. Get up and get you some.
Common Man and Timmy here for our friends at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Mikey, there's so much fun this month. It's just fantastic.
We've got Sun-Kissed Summer Saturday drawings where you can win up to $500 in pen cash, plus all-you-can-eat crab legs still going on.
You mean the Canadian snow crab legs, corn on the cob, and Hawaiian rolls every Tuesday?
Of course. Plus the last Saturday in the month, play the Queen's Gamble for a chance to win up to $5,000 in pen cash.
$5,000? Must be 21 to enter. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Get ECO.
Hey, Jerry, remember when you invented that tiny bit of paper at the start of a new roll of sticky tape that helps you find the end?
Ah, yes, the Jerry tab. Too bad the name never caught on.
But it makes the thing you already paid for more useful.
And makes your life more enjoyable.
So I thought we could make people's lives more enjoyable when they call us to do plumbing work on their home.
Get ECO. ECO.
If you get ECO to replace your water heater, our helpful plumbers will do up to $500 worth of additional plumbing work for free while we're there.
The job's too little to call a plumber for, but you really want a plumber to fix.
Get ECO. ECO.
And if you need something bigger done, we'll give you $500 off the cost of that.
Wait, we could put a Jerry tab at the beginning of every toilet paper roll. I could be famous after all.
Get ECO. ECO.
ECO plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
Home of the Jerry tab.
GetEco.com.
Do you have foot pain? Foot pain is not normal regardless of your age or job. Podiatric physicians are the most qualified doctors to care for your feet and can provide important foot care solutions or shoe inserts to better manage foot pain. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state and are dedicated to providing the highest quality foot and ankle care. We've been serving the profession and the public for over 100 years. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
What defines Ohio? A place that dares to go first and never looks back. There's no slowing us down. At Jobs Ohio, our mission is clear. Strengthen job opportunities and empower Ohio's workforce. Another reason why Ohio is now ranked the #1 state for business by CNBC. This is what unstoppable feels like. We did it together, Ohio. Our time is now. See Ohio's momentum at jobsohio.com/Ohio's time.
Your favorite fan shows are available as a podcast. What a concept. And don't miss exclusive podcast content like Austin and Byrne. Listen on your schedule from anywhere in the world. Available wherever you get your podcasts. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We'll enjoy a mostly sunny sky for the rest of your Friday. Good stuff out there with highs in the lower 80s. There's a tiny chance a shower could pop up. Overnight, mostly clear skies, lows back around 60. For your weekend, mostly sunny on Saturday, 83. Warmer on Sunday, sunshine, 87. For the Fan, I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Justin Gertz.
Miss a little, miss a lot. Catch Bishop and Friends wherever you get your podcasts. It's free.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
The Fan. First Friday miracles are always better with Uncle Bo. This is Bishop and Friends.
Indeed it is, and we are proudly brought to you and sponsored by our great friends at Diamond Cellar, your true jeweler for nearly 80 years. Did we do really well at this last year with Know the Scores, or was it the NFL that one of them I crushed, the other one I think I kept my head above water? I can't really remember.
So I know last year and Know the Scores because I have my numbers. I was 19 games over 500. I started really strong and had a lead, and you came on late, and I think you were possibly 20 or more games over 500. You came back and took the win, I believe.
I have these absurd. This is crazy. I actually have this. I have everything on these yellow, like legal pads. I never threw it away. Oh yeah. So it ended up. Yeah, so it ended up 110 and 98. Okay. So I ended up just 12 over. Oh no, I'm sorry. No. That's NFL. College 93 and 68.
Yeah, so you got me by 3 games.
Okay. All right. Very good.
But we both did well.
We did well. Yeah, we did well. So you're welcome. We're putting kids through college.
Now, I'm a little nervous with this test run because we didn't do this last year.
No.
And last year, week 1, I crushed it. I think I went like 11-1, so I'm a little nervous here about this.
Well, this is what we do, Bake. Like, if we do well, then it counts. If we don't do well, then it doesn't count. I mean, let's just be completely duplicitous in this thing and have no integrity whatsoever. But we do have a week 0, and we should probably pick some games. And by the way, going to have a new kind of a new wrinkle to this when we start next week, where you too can win, not just by shadowing all of our picks or fading them if we suck, but also a little bit of a giveaway winner. So a little preview for things to come, Bake.
Yeah, Bo. So Hothead Burritos is going to sponsor Know the Scores this year when we get into it fully next week.
Yeah.
And they're going to do a 20-person away game tailgate for the 5 away games, and then a $50 gift card for all the other weeks. So this 20-person tailgate is like a $300 value. So it's going to be pretty cool. So we're going to have to figure out a way to tie a listener to your picks, tie a listener to my picks, and whoever wins, that listener's going to pick up the tailgate.
I love it. That sounds like a plan, and so we'll begin that next week. So a dry run with week 0. Go ahead, Reese.
It's time for Know the Scores on Bishop and Friends.
All right, we'll start tomorrow at noon in Dublin, the Ireland version. Aer Lingus Classic Part 12. However long they've been doing this thing. North Carolina's battling TCU. Horned Frogs are 8.5-point favorites, Bo.
I wonder if this is working for Aer Lingus and Dublin and all of it. It must be. I mean, you see College Game Day there, and you see like all of the people that are all jacked up to go to the game. So it's got to be working. It's basically a free trap. Like if the Buckeyes went to this would be kind of fun to like go to Ireland and go to a Buckeye game and do like play golf and go to Guinness and all of those things. Look, I think Carolina is going to be an unmitigated disaster all season. I think TCU is at least organized. Old landman's daughter's going there, so I have to assume they have some good vibes. Give me the Horned Frogs bigly in this one, 41-20.
So this game was an absolute blowout last year.
Yeah.
I don't see it being too much different. I am going to give North Carolina the benefit of the doubt and say that maybe possibly they improved a little bit, but I've got TCU 35-21.
At 3 o'clock tomorrow in Los Angeles, number 14 USC is a 38.5-point favorite hosting San Jose State. Remember, this has the opportunity for San Jose State to do the funniest thing. Back when the Odyssey was out, and the Trojans said, our Odyssey begins August 29th. And the San Jose State Spartans are playing the Men of Troy. It's on NBC.
How did SC screw this up? Like, did you not read it? It's a good scroll.
Probably not.
Did you not read it?
Baker.
I look, this is test run, so I'm just going straight gut here, and I'm just going like mentality of coaches. My guess is Lincoln Riley wants to make a statement week 1, and I think he pours it on a little bit. Give me USC winning comfortable, 56-14.
So I think USC will win, and I think they will win easily. I think 38.5 is a big number, though. I got USC 49-13.
I was looking to see when was the last time Virginia had a sellout, but they have sold out tomorrow at Scott Stadium. For the first time since 2008, the Cavaliers are going to be playing in front of a sellout home crowd. The opponent, NC State, the darling of the college football video game for the first two of the last two iterations. It's a 3:30 kick on ESPN. The Cavaliers are 4-point favorites.
So my general rule of thumb week one, and it'll probably come through next week, and we do week one, is take the points always, because they usually have to adapt a little bit. This is fun, and this is a conference game. Remember last year it wasn't, but it is a conference game this year, which is so stupid. But yes, apparently it wasn't. Now it is. That's a beautiful campus. I got a soft spot in my heart for UVA. I was there this summer. Give me UVA to get it done here. 21. No, it'll be more than that. Let's go 31-24.
So if you remember last year, this game was right on this number. Virginia won 35-31. I like what Virginia has done at quarterback here, not only bringing in Bo Pribula to be the starter, but they also have Eli Holstein, who came in from Pitt, who was their starter, to be the backup. I think this game is pretty similar to last year. Give me Virginia 37, NC State 31.
I want to say to the Fargo Dome we go for an FCS matchup between North Dakota State and Jacksonville State at 5:30 Saturday. The Bison are 7-point favorites.
I'll go here, Bo. I just think North Dakota State is too good. Might be a big number for week one, but I've got them winning 41-27.
Yeah, I think they send a message as well. Give me the Bison with a Z to beat Jacksonville State 38-17.
The Mid-American...
All home for me so far, which sorry to interrupt.
That's... That I would not necessarily trust. But it's week 0, so we're doing practice. This is all fun and for practice. Unless you do really well, then it's not. Mac, debut for Sacramento State. The Bees, or the Hornets, I should say, are buzzing to Eastern Michigan, but it is the home team, Directional Michigan, a 9.5-point favorite.
Give me Sac State. Give me Sac State making a little bit of noise in their MAC debut. I could see them springing it here maybe, but certainly I think they'll play it close. Give me Sac State in a close one. Eastern Michigan wins, but it's tight, 31-28.
I'm with you, Bo. I see it pretty similar. Sacramento State really, really, really wanted to get into the MAC conference. They can't get blown out. They got to show up at least in their first game. I've got Eastern Michigan 27-21.
I got to apologize. North Dakota State's in the FBS. They're in the Mountain West.
They moved up, baby.
At 7 o'clock in Stanford, the Tree hosts Hawaii. Cardinal 4-point favorites.
This is a very interesting one from the one. I think, Bake, you're up on this, but I just wanted to say this about North Dakota State. Let's see how this goes. Let's just see how this goes, because they were kings of the hill.
They're motivated, right? Financially and...
I think they're backed, but, you went from like a clear path to a national title to, what's this look like? Go ahead, Bake.
Will the Bobcats be watching?
I hope not. I mean, I don't want either Montana or Montana State, and I know both of them are coveted by the Mountain West for sure. I don't want either one of them in Division I. I think they're in a really nice spot where they are, where they can compete for titles, and the money's flowing in, and I don't know. To me, I think it matters to win a national championship or have an ability to.
Sure is different seeing Hawaii play an ACC power like Stanford. Whenever Hawaii has a road game, it's a long trip. That might be tough week one. I think they play respectable, but I got Stanford 34-27.
Yeah, remember when Hawaii had just the most high-flying operation ever?
Slung it everywhere.
June Jones was there, and Timmy Chang and Colt Brennan and all those guys. Yeah, I think Andrew Luck maybe got it turned a little bit. I'm with you. I see it similarly. Stanford winning by a touchdown.
7 o'clock tomorrow night in Tallahassee, a game you can only find on the CW Network. Florida State's a 31.5-point favorite hosting New Mexico State.
I have no idea if New Mexico State is worth a salt. I don't really know if Florida State's worth a salt. I know that they've invested mightily in facilities, a level of which blew my mind when I saw them up close and personal in the spring. But at the same time, I know that there's a ton of pressure on Mike Norvell to win now. I think that if there's an opportunity for him to make this look even more impressive than it is, I think he probably will. I like Florida State winning this thing 42-7.
I didn't know who Florida State's quarterback is, so I looked it up. It's Ashton Daniels. I still don't know who Florida State's quarterback is. I don't know if Florida State can beat anyone by 30 points. So give me Florida State 45-17.
We'll run tomorrow night to Las Vegas. UNLV hosts Memphis at 10 p.m. The Rebs are 4.5-point favorites.
It's a really fun game. It's a really fun game between these two schools. This is Dan Mullen at UNLV, right?
Correct.
Yeah, he can coach it a little bit. Give me UNLV to take care of business this one and win relatively by 7 at least, 38-31.
Memphis might be good, but we just talked about how many transfers they have on their team. That's going to be tough, I think, week one, because UNLV is a decent team too. I got the Running Rebels 49-38.
At 10 o'clock tomorrow night at the Greater Zion Stadium in St. George, Utah, the Montana State Bobcats look to defend their national championship at Utah Tech, which today I learned Utah Tech was a thing. Bo's Bobcats are 31.5-point favorites.
My God, I just pulled up like the stadium.
It's
Why in the hell?
gorgeous.
I mean, like it's beautiful.
St. George.
St. George, Utah is gorgeous. Like this is spectacular. I wonder if this is like, hey, our alumni can go on a little vacation because like Wolf Creek's there and all of that. So maybe that's why Montana State's playing a road game there. I think the beloved Bobcats put it on them pretty good though. Quarterback's back, defending national champs, number 1 in the country. I think they prove it. They're a bit of a machine right now. Give me the Bobcats 42-7.
I am a loyal man. Bobcats 100. Utah Tech nothing.
By the way, Quiz just pointing out to me, I'd forgotten this. Guess who's on the staff at Florida State? Tommy Herman.
Tom Herman. He's an analyst, or is he the guy that gets Mike Norvell the coffee?
Calling.
Okay.
Yeah, do some play calling maybe. Mr. Feinbaum in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Kick off your savings when you buy or refinance your home with a Miller Lending no closing cost mortgage. Closing costs aren't mandatory, so don't fumble away your opportunity to save money. 8779 no cost. That's 8779 no cost. Or apply online at nocostmortgage.com.
Football season is here. Make sure your internet is ready. Kinetic's 100% fiber gives you the fast, reliable connection to enjoy live football on YouTube TV and watch up to 4 live games at once with Multiview. Check real-time stats and catch more big plays without missing a snap. Take your game watching to a whole new level. Switch to Kinetic. Save up to $120 on your first year of YouTube TV. Visit GoKinetic.com for details. Subject to availability and eligibility. Terms, conditions, and restrictions apply. Cancel anytime. Kinetic. Internet better.
How do you know you got a great deal? You came to Coughlin Ford. Lease a new 26 Bronco Sport or Maverick, $399 a month. Get 0% APR on a new 26 F-150 Super Crew 4x4 STX or lease for $499 a month. Visit CoughlinFord.com.
Coughlin has the car for you.
36-month lease, $29.98 due at signing. Not all buyers will qualify. 7,500 miles per year, 25 cents per mile. Excludes tax, title, and registration. $395 disposition fee at lease end. No security deposit. 0% for 36 months equals $27.78 for 1,000 finance. With approved credit through Ford Motor Credit. Ends 8/31/26.
When it's time to replace your roof, siding, or gutters, trust matters. That's why homeowners across Central Ohio have voted Newman Roofing City Scene Magazine's best roofing company 5 years in a row. Call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit newmanroofing.com today to schedule your free estimate.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 3 trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination. Bishop and Friends present college football's most polarizing figure.
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Come on back to our show, Tim. The audience hates you.
This is ESPN's Paul Feinbaum, sponsored by the Roofing Guys. For all your roofing, siding, and gutter needs, contact the Roofing Guys at theroofingguys.com.
Well, we're almost there. Week 0, week 1 next week. I wish this was week 1, my friend. But before we get to that, are these kids going to play at LSU and around the SEC or not? What's your read on this?
Bo, I think right now there's a pretty decent possibility. 2 days ago, I didn't think so. But every day brings another hearing, injunction, TRO, whatever introduction to a law school orientation looks like. I know I'll leave the Big Ten to you, but I can tell you the SEC is determined to fight this with everything they have, and they are, even though they didn't look prepared, they've been prepared. And the biggest issue they're having is not dealing with the issue overall. It's dealing with a renegade rogue school, which is LSU.
It's a stunning thing. We had this injunction yesterday in Texas, and we've heard from the governor of Louisiana. The Big Ten, they're pretty steadfast right now, but the Big Ten also doesn't have what the SEC has going on at LSU. I mean, essentially, LSU is suing itself. Is that if it goes down this road? Is that what ends up happening here?
I mean, it could. I mean, I was talking yesterday on our show that, hey, LSU voted for this, and I was quickly reminded by someone who resides in Baton Rouge, whose name you might know, who was watching, that no, we abstained on the actual penalty part of the vote. Now, you can split the baby any way you want, but LSU's president voted in favor of giving Sankey the authority, and then my guess is the governor called him the next day. We'll get to him in a second. And said, you are not allowed to vote anymore. And why would the president listen to the governor? Because before March, the president of LSU, Wade Roos, I know you haven't heard of him or seen him at any important meetings of academic leaders, is that he was the president at McNeese State in whatever podunk town in Louisiana that is in. And the governor decided to bring him and his athletic director over to do whatever he wants them to do.
I've said this before. I am so envious of you. I need rogue. I need rogue institutions, Paul. I need rogue governors. It's just utter chaos.
And I won't go too long on this because you've heard some of this before, but the governor is connected to Ted Cruz, Cody Campbell, Smash Capital, and this movement that is trying to overtake the SEC and everybody else. So, and this governor is a popular guy. He's also plugged into the president in Washington, not the president at LSU. He's the ambassador and special envoy to Greenland, whatever that means. But it's all connected to the College Sports Act too, by the way.
Oh my God, what a wild web we weave with all of this stuff. Okay, so I kind of was optimistic too, and before we get into these things, I thought to myself, well, okay, there's some precedent here. I've been around college athletics a long time, not as long as you, but a long time, 30 years almost, and I was thinking to myself, well, hold on a second. If the SEC, the Big Ten kind of put out their rules, and the SEC followed suit, then the others kind of followed, Notre Dame, ACC, Big 12, okay, fine. Do we have kind of some precedent being set here, Paul? In other words, that these conferences can make rules and kind of enforce them on their own. Is there a glimmer of hope here? How did you read that?
Yes, I mean, this is the future, what we're seeing in present day. This is what all these presidents have been talking about in terms of self-governance. The only issue is, I hate to go down this rabbit hole on week 0, but as all of this is going on, I'm being spun, you're probably hearing it as well, from various people saying this is now why we have to get Congress to pass this bill. Randy Levine, the president of the New York Yankees, he's in the New York Post today saying this is why. He said college athletics will not survive without this Senate bill. Yes, it will. I have a senator. Actually, I'm talking to a senator later who wants to get my opinion on this because they're being pulled. I still don't think it's going to pass, Bo. I really don't. Because every time one side moves, the other side's going to push back. But that's really, even Sankey, who has had some sanity in all this, is going to is pushing hard for it. What's really interesting in all this, and I say this not to patronize, but every one of our objective commentators, not to die in the wool SEC honks, are talking about how the Big Ten set the precedent this week, how Tony Petitti, after coming out of off the milk carton, has really done some good things. And then I pick up USA Today this morning. Not that they're the gospel, but they did a list of the 25 most influential leaders in college football. And for the first time ever that I can remember, at least since Jim Delaney was around running the Big Ten commissioner ranked ahead of the SEC commissioner.
I saw that as well. Yeah, I mean, I was as critical of Patini as anybody, but he in the last year he's kind of you used the line off the milk carton. He has a little bit. We've seen him a little bit, and he's operating from a position of strength. Obviously, that starts on the football field, but also in the pocketbook as well. So the Big Ten wielding a little bit of power, something Kevin Warren tried to do all the way back in COVID, Paul, and fell right on his face. So more powerful leadership now from the Big Ten than we've had. And since Delaney, to your point, we do not have a great slate of week 0. I'd like one kind of game I'm going to talk myself into all this stuff because I'm a degenerate, Paul, but we'd love to have like some sort of a ranked game. We do have some interesting ones, though, in terms of schools that really believe that they're going to end up in better conferences. Talking of certainly North Carolina, which obviously you and I have said many times the SEC and the Big Ten would love to have. They play TCU in Ireland, in Belichick's, I'm assuming like you, last year at Carolina, if he even gets the full year. And then Florida State in a massive season for Mike Norvell down there. What is kind of your read of those two games and those two programs heading into week 0?
Yeah, because it's such a bad week, I've been on the network a few times this week, and I find myself almost bored with blasting Bill Belichick. Mm-hmm. It's just not fun anymore. Speaking of North Carolina, I had somebody text me yesterday and said, can we throw LSU's ass out of the SEC and just go get North Carolina today? and I don't think it's the worst thing I've heard, by the way. So if the Big Ten wants LSU, I can tell you where to go and whom to call.
Yeah, it is. The Belichick thing at Carolina. I mean, you were in that. You moved back to Alabama, I believe, right? You're back. You moved out of Charlotte. Right. Do I have that right, Paul? Yeah. So I knew that you were in Charlotte for a long time, and that was one of those things where guys like you and I, who had been around the sport for a long time, saw all of the red flags. A lot of the NFL people were just completely blind to it, had no idea just how naive Belichick was in the approach. That's got to be an athletic director fireable too, right? I mean, that's his biggest swing. That's a program that has an incredible amount of pride. Some would say arrogance. That's got to be fire everybody's situation when this thing falls as flat as it has.
Yeah, what's really interesting, and being there so long, my neighbors up and down the street were either Clemson or Carolina, so I got more than I wanted. I mean, I'd walk on the street and in Alabama and say, hey, you think the Tide will win this year? Down there it says, how you think the Tar Heels are going to do? Like, I don't care how the Tar Heels are going to do. Leave me alone. I'm walking my dog. But the athletic director who just retired, Bubba Cunningham, did not want Bill Belichick. It's a fascinating story, but it ended up being a political football where Marco Rubio got called by somebody, and then another guy got involved, and Belichick was forced down the AD's throat by the president. So there will be a reckoning there, and it really won't matter. But whenever they get rid of Belichick, they'll be in much better shape. But it was one of those amazing hires. The funniest line I think I've heard all week, and I uttered it, by the way, is the idea that a lot of people are going to be pulling for Bobby Petrino to take over the program in October. This pristine Bobby Petrino who wrecked a motorcycle 15 years ago and got fired as the Arkansas coach when they were a good program, by the way, is now going to be the savior, at least for this season, of the Tar Heels.
Buddy, we got a Bobby Petrino. We got a somehow the ambassador of Greenland. I think we got to drop in there, or something to do with Greenland, the governor of Louisiana, and we got Marco Rubio at North Carolina. We're back. College football's back, pal. It's good to have week 0. It's always great to talk to you. Thanks for your time, my friend.
Always a pleasure. Thank you, Bo.
That's unbelievable. What a ridiculous sport this is. We'll do Thing or Not a Thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
All the but 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan.
The new All-Pro battery by Steel. Tackle any task with 60% more peak power. Exclusively available only at your local Steel dealer. 60% peak power comparison between AP300PC and AP300S.
Common Man here for my friends at Care Heating and Cooling. Summertime napping season is upon us. What's that mean? Well, that means for me, a little nap on the leather couch. I got the ceiling fan on, but if that AC's not working properly, that nap turns into crap. Am I right? You got to make sure that AC's in tip-top shape, and the only people to call are my friends at Care Heating and Cooling. The message on their homepage says, we care about your comfort, because they do. If you're not comfortable in your own home, they start to get itchy and scratchy. Here's what you need to know about my friends at Care. They've won the Lennox Centurion Award for 17 years in a row. Now, if you're not in the biz, you don't know what that is, but I'm going to tell you, it's given to the top 5% of Lennox dealers in the country each year. Their service techs are the best in the business, and there's not a problem they can't solve, except maybe the meaning of life. They had no answer when I asked them. But think about living without central AC. Mess you up. My friends at Care also have easy online scheduling. CareHeatingandCooling.com. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING when you need a company you can trust. Common Man here for Germain Hyundai, where right now $99 a month gets you your choice of a 2026 Hyundai Elantra or a 2026 Hyundai Kona. A brand new Hyundai for just $99 a month. And only at Germain, get free gas for 3 months. And with Jermaine's $1,000 price promise, no one will sell you a Hyundai for less. Find your $99 Hyundai today at GermainHyundai.com. With approved credit, Elantra $44.95 down, Kona $39.95 down, plus tax, title, first month's payment, 7,500 miles per year, ends 8/31.
With Bet365 early payout, you win even if they lose. Get paid out instantly when your team goes up big, even if they blow the lead later. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio.
There are many reasons to hire Morgan & Morgan for your injury case. Here's reason 17. In today's new world, many law firms have had money injected into their firms by Wall Street, private equity, and other lenders. This money usually comes in at very, very high interest rates. It's one of the reasons you see so many lawyers advertising. I'm John Morgan. This money is expensive and the interest compounds quickly. These law firms can have a huge need for cash just to pay that debt. Why does it matter to you? My fear is your case is settled early and for far less than it's worth, just to service the loan that has mafia-like rates. Our financial strength is your advantage. That plus our reputation makes our firm your firm. Visit forthepeople.com to see our results and verdicts. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Something big has just dropped at Hothead Burritos. Introducing barbecue pork carnitas. Juicy, mouth-watering pork carnitas. Our limited-time new citrus chipotle barbecue sauce. Savor the summer flavor. Hothead Burritos. Get up and get you some.
Mike Rowe here with a fun fact. Did you know that 50% of the air that you breathe inside your home comes from your crawl space? Yeah. Whether your crawl space is wet, musty, or your floors are bouncy, do yourself a favor and call a Groundworks company. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to repair your crawl space. Schedule a free inspection with Ohio Basement Authority, a Groundworks company.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Morning Juice is now on YouTube, weekday mornings starting at 6. If you're a fan of Bobby Carpenter, he's ready to attack and dominate. If you're a fan of Jeff Goodoff, drive directly to a hospital. Seriously, The Fan. All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Our top men are working on everything except this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing on a Friday edition. Hit it, fellas.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
All right, so just checking the till here on entities Paul Feinbaum insulted. Morehead State, the city Morehead State's in Louisiana.
No, McNeese State.
McNeese State, thank you.
McNeese State, yeah.
LSU's president, LSU itself, the state of Louisiana, the governor, Lane Kiffin, the University of North Carolina, his neighbors in North Carolina, Bill Belichick, North Carolina Athletics. Am I missing anything there?
Greenland
was
somehow
the
involved.
Country.
Reese, Ohio Dominican took care of Morehead State last night.
Okay, that's why I've got it. That's why I've got it on the brain. McNeese State and the town McNeese State's located in Louisiana.
Good Lord.
Wherever it is you do your podcasting, I would encourage you to go back and listen to Paul
But Reese, this is why he can do that show there.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've said this before, this is the differentiator, and he knows this. I think I've even said this to him. LSU, Arkansas, Texas A&M, Missouri, probably even to a certain extent, Kentucky, Tennessee, South Carolina, they all believe they're entitled to the same thing as Alabama. They believe it in their bones. Like, for the longest time, people in this league didn't believe it. Nobody at Wisconsin woke up and go, we're supposed to be, why can't we? We're entitled to Ohio State. They don't wake up like that. The only one in our conference that's kind of delusional like that, and they've been beaten down so much over the last 20 years that they don't even have it anymore, is Nebraska. I mean, that's kind of the only one that, like, Nebraska used to feel like they were a coach away. Now I think they're so neutered that they don't even dream that big anymore. So, man, yeah, that Louisiana situation is crazy.
LSU alone has to be, and I'm sure there's times it gets ridiculous, but it has to be the most fun to cover right now with those three head coaches and everything that's going on.
The governor part of it, I mean, they're just renegades, just complete renegades.
So the Big East is now predominantly a basketball conference. And NewJersey.com's reporting that the Big East has opted to not follow the Power Four in establishing a rule that bars pro athletes from returning to their schools. A Zoom meeting between league officials and ADs from the 11 Big East schools say a decision was made to stick with the status quo while monitoring the situation to see how it plays out. Reportedly, no rule change was proposed, so no vote was held. Prior to the meeting, a Big East men's basketball coach told NJ.com, quote, "I think you have to be aligned with what the Big Ten and the SEC are doing." A second Big East coach says he agrees with the league's decision to table it, citing concerns over lawsuits from players. And then another Big East source told NJ.com, quote, "We don't have any R.J. Luis cases in our league," end quote. Thing or not a thing?
Just for my clarification, is R.J. Luis the kid who's at Kentucky, who was the Big East Player of the Year at San?
Is he at LSU?
He's at LSU.
Oh, he's at LSU.
He was the Big East
Kentucky
Player of the Year 2 years
Played
ago.
at St. John's, went to the, actually got traded in the NBA.
Oh, that's right. But Kentucky's got one too, but it's not quite this. Of course, this guy's at LSU. Here's the thing that's really tricky about the Big East. Their entire financial revenue plan is based on them being really good at basketball. And this is, as we've said all week, a much bigger and much more slippery slope in hoops than it is in football. Because you have all of the European, South American, all those guys who have played professionally that are all playing college basketball. So I don't blame the Big East for not wanting to dip their toe in this very far, because their greatness is predicated on them being great at basketball. And I'm guessing there's players all over their rosters that played professionally overseas, if not having any that played in the G League.
When you read that quote from the coach that said, yeah, we'll table it for now for lawsuits, I'm guessing, well, this guy probably has 3 professional European players on his basketball roster, so that's why he doesn't want to do this. And, Bo, you're so correct in this, that this is such a bigger problem for college basketball, because this has been happening forever in college basketball with kids that have been professionals and getting paid since they were 14, 15, 16 years old, then coming over and playing college sports. I believe this affects Ohio State with one player. It would have affected them with two, but Grujicic transferred. So their latest addition is somebody that had been playing basketball in Argentina for a while professionally. So, yeah, there's some schools that this may really affect their basketball rosters.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of LSU, as that continues to be the theme for the day, baby. The first overall pick in the 2016 NBA draft could be making a comeback, but to the association. Ben Simmons reportedly worked out in Florida this week, and initial reports suggest it went well. Sacramento radio host Carmichael Dave said Thursday one person who attended that workout said Simmons, quote, looked fantastic. He last played for the LA Clippers in 24-25. He averaged 3.5 rebounds, 3.1 assists per game. According to NBA insider Mark Stein, this is incredible. The Knicks offered Ben Simmons a guaranteed contract last summer. He didn't play, though. Thing or not a thing?
Could have got a ring had he played. Well, listen, he's only 30 years old. He's 6'10", 240, and in the background in his history, he's a 3-time All-Star. So while it petered out pretty big for him, he's obviously very capable of being an NBA player, if not a number one overall pick. Ben Simmons at Philly was definitely not a bust. I mean, he made 3 All-Star games. He was an All-NBA guy in 2019. He was Rookie of the Year in 17-18. Like, he made 3 consecutive All-Star games. He had votes for Defensive Player of the Year when he was 23 and age 3 in his 3rd season in the league. So he definitely was not a bust from NBA standards. I mean, he averaged 16, 17, 2 steals, 6, 7 rebounds, 8, 9 assists. Like, I mean, he was not a bust. So he's had a bunch of injuries. He's had holdout issues, all sorts of things. But I can see people kicking the tires on him.
I think this is a little bit of a thing if Ben Simmons got away from basketball for a little while and maybe it reset his mind. Because Ben Simmons always looked great physically. Yeah. There was no doubt about that. He always had the physical tools, and he could still come back. And even if, and it seems like things got in his head with his shot, which was never great, and scoring points and putting the ball in the basket. But Ben Simmons, when he's healthy, is a guy that can definitely help you on the defensive side of things. He can guard probably all 5 positions. He's a guy that can run the point for you and is a good distributor of the basketball. And he's a guy that can get you rebounds. So he can do a lot of things well on the basketball court. It just seems like he almost became Steve Sachs with throwing the ball and just couldn't put it in the basket.
And it happened to 2 Sixers because it happened to Markelle Fultz, too, there, where he forgot how to shoot.
Yeah, he's the closest, I think, you could find of any NBA player, like what happened with Charles Barkley in Space Jam, where he touched an NBA.
Fultz?
Yeah, we touched an NBA ball and his powers went away.
Whatever happened to him? Because he did end up bouncing, I guess.
He was in Orlando and kind of made a comeback a little bit. I don't know if he's still on the Magic's roster, but.
So he is. So
he's still with them. Okay.
Looks like he finished last year in Toronto. Yeah, he ended up kind of, he was a bust for sure, but you're right. He had, from 2019 to 2023 in Orlando, he averaged double-figure points from 12 to 15. So he proved he can play, but he was a number 1 overall pick and he couldn't shoot.
Yeah, he was a pretty good bench guy for them. I think even started in some spots for them at point guard.
Yeah. God, how many top 3 picks did they have in that stretch? From Embiid to
process,
Nerlens Noel.
The process.
Oh, my gosh, they had a lot of them. Embiid was the only one that kind of hit.
The NFL has announced new sportsbook partnerships. Fanatics is joining DraftKings and FanDuel as official betting operators of the league. Multi-year partnerships, provide the sportsbooks with access to official league data, the ability to advertise during games, and intellectual property rights for league and team marks and logos. As part of the deal, the 3 sportsbooks will collaborate with the NFL on what types of bets are offered, intelligence sharing, advocacy efforts, and responsible gaming initiatives. The league objects to bets tied to officiating and injuries or any wagers that can be knowable in advance or easily manipulated by a single person. Thing or not a thing?
So did Fanatics just take over for Caesars on this? Was that the read of it on the NFL as an official partner? Seems like it. Seems like that's the way that kind of worked. I think for those who participate, I don't know how I can't gamble because of the NFL stuff. So I don't know. Like, are any one of these things better than anything else at this point?
I think it's all just what you like. I think the nice thing here for maybe wagering enthusiasts is maybe the NFL will have, or the bets at these places will all be, there won't be much difference. They'll all be the same across the NFL board because they're all with the NFL. And I mean, if you're the NFL, why be in bed with just one when you could be in bed with all of them? Seems like good life advice.
Pad those stats, baby. Keep those checks cashing. Final hour of the week coming up next. We close it out in the National Football League. We close out the AFC West in 2 days. The Chargers and the Raiders coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Are you working? Because we barely are. It's Football Friday.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home for football and quiet quitting. The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Sleep Better Columbus can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Enjoy more ways to save at Kroger, like low prices in every aisle. And you can clip and save more with digital coupons in the Kroger app. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. So it's always easy to save big. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply. See site for details.
You can save $5 on produce with your digital coupon. Just spend $20 on produce and save $5 at checkout. See coupon for details. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
On this episode of Science Stuff, we're examining the fastest things on the planet, like the cheetah. It can reach a land speed of over... probably having an off day happens to everybody, but here is the American race car. People love the thrill of the... Okay, next up is the Falcon. No, all right. Oh, Great Caesar's ghost, what was that? Why, I think we've found the fastest... Let's watch in slow motion.
Hi, it's Alex, the friendly Apex...
It's Apex Pros, the pros who knows. They're the fastest thing on the planet. When you have a problem with your plumbing, furnace, air conditioner, or electrical system, Apex Pros gets to you faster than apparently everything. Leaves are blown from trees. Paint is stripped from buildings. Mothers clutch their children's hands. Because when you have something broken in your plumbing, HVAC, or electrical, you don't want to wait.
Columbus loves Apex Pros. ApexPros.com.
There are lots of ways you could celebrate America's 250th year. Epic fireworks, adopting your own bald eagle, treating your coworkers to a very special rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner. Or you could just go to America250ohio.org, where you'll find tons of cool events in counties all over Ohio that celebrate America and the big role our state played in its history. Start your celebration at America250ohio.org. Sponsored by the Ohio History Connection, aired by the OAB and this station.
When you renovate a home, you're going into full-time junk production.
How so?
The first stage of renovation is demolition.
We make that junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
When they begin installing the upgrades, a second mountain appears.
Construction scraps and packaging rise into the sky.
We make that mountain disappear, too.
All you have to do is point.
We make room for possibilities.
We make room for possibilities.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
When your joints hurt every day and you've been told you need surgery, you better do your homework. Once a joint is replaced, there is no going back. Hi, it's Tyvis Powell. Before you schedule surgery, consider getting a second opinion from QC Kinetics. Whether you're dealing with pain from bone-on-bone arthritis, a torn meniscus, or years of wear and tear, surgery isn't the only conversation you should have. Talk to Dr. Tesner and his team at QC Kinetics about how they use regenerative treatment to deliver relief to patients like you here in the Columbus area. If you're a good candidate, they'll concentrate tiny healing tools within your body right on the spot that actually causes the pain. The whole idea is to give you a real shot at holding off surgery, or in some cases, even avoiding it altogether. And that's why it makes sense to explore every option before making a decision that can change your life. Don't just accept surgery as your only choice. Call QC Kinetics today for a second opinion and know your options. The conversation and consultation are totally free. Go to QCKinetics/Columbus or call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
Coghlan Kia of Dublin is now open, and we're offering grand opening savings at all 4 Coghlan Kia locations. Get 0% financing on select new 26 Kia Sportage and Sorrento. Pay $0 out of pocket when you lease a new 27 Seltos or 26 Sportage for $375 a month for 36 months. Get grand opening savings at Coghlan Kia.
Coghlan has the car for you.
With approved credit, 0% for 48 months equals $20.83 per 1,000 finance through Kia Motor Finance. Leases include 10,000 miles per year with 20 cents per mile over penalty. Excludes tax, title, and registration. No security deposit. See dealer for details. Ends 8/31/26.
The Reds are on the radio.
Swung on first. High, deep left field. There it goes. A 3-run go-ahead blast for Eugenio Suarez. They're waving around Friedel. Up throwing Anthony. Throw to the plate. Not in time. And the Reds walk it off at 11, 6-5.
The quest for October baseball is underway. Hear all the action all season long on your home of the Reds.
Hey, it's T-Bone again. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Sleep Better Columbus has been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results and now has an office open in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reese. Sir, a busy 24 hours for Ohio Dominican. On the field last night, the Panthers went down to Kentucky and beat FCS Morehead State 42-40 in double overtime. Out at ODU tonight is the Fans High School football game of the week. Bishop Watterson battles Pickerington Central at 7. The Golden Eagles haven't lost a game since 2023. Tyler Danberg is going to be on the call with pregame coverage right here on the Fan at 6:30. Week 0 in college football starts tomorrow. One Big Ten team's in action Saturday. San Jose State's at number 14 USC at 3:30. The top team in the country's in action next Saturday. Ohio State hosts Ball State at 12:30. Buckeyes are 50.5-point favorites against the Cardinals. In the NFL tonight, the Bengals look for a perfect preseason. Cincinnati's at Philadelphia at 8 o'clock. The Browns wrapped the preseason last night, beating the Patriots in Cleveland 37-13. This update sponsored by Hydrate Me Med Spa. Look great, feel great, personalized wellness and aesthetic treatments that work from the inside out. HydrateMeMedSpa.com.
The show that understands the importance of a situational beverage. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Watterson hasn't lost since 23.
I think that was the state title tilt.
It was the state championship game against Toledo Central Catholic.
Wow.
And
Think about this. Go ahead, Vic.
I was going to say, then they played Toledo Central Catholic in the last 2 state championship games and won.
And that was in Division 3, right?
And both are in Division 2 this year.
So those two are in Division 2. Avon's won the last 2 state titles in Division 2, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So they're in Division 2.
Anderson, the runner-up the last 2 years, and they're loaded. Everybody came back.
They're Division 2. Hoban has won state titles in they're Division 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then in addition to that, Massillon, who might be the best team in the state this year, is Division 2.
And Big Walnut, who's been a state semifinalist the last 2 years.
God.
And DeSales, who's pretty daggone good.
Yeah, that's a meat grinder. That's crazy. That Division 2 it's the best. It's the best division in the state of Ohio this year. It really is. That's a fun one tonight. That'd be one I'd like to go to. That would be a fun one. All right, let's turn to the National Football League and two-a-days and close out the AFC West.
Bishop and Friends present Two-A-Days, our professional preseason preview of all 32 teams. Will your favorite team win it all this season? Doubt it.
Well, 2 teams in the AFC West we did yesterday are both Super Bowl contenders. I think one of the teams we're talking about today believes that they are and probably should be based on where they are in their franchise trajectory. It's just a question of, do you believe in the coach? More importantly, I think for some, do you believe in the quarterback? We are starting with the LA Chargers. They were 11-6 a year ago. They lost to New England 16-3 in the wild card round in a very uninspired effort. They added to this roster in a big way, but lost some of it too. Tyler Biadasz comes over. He will not play. He's out for the season with an ACL. They did add David Njoku, who I think has a lot of gas left in the tank, and wouldn't surprise me if he had a very nice season for them at tight end. Not sure how his camp is going, but he's, I think, still got quite a bit left in the tank. He comes over to help out as well. Some losses are there in terms of some depth pieces, but there's nothing crazy in terms of losses. This is mostly going to be about Justin Herbert and Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh was brought to the Los Angeles Chargers to get the most out of Herbert, for Herbert to realize his mountain of potential. Bake is not a fan of Mr. Herbert and what he's done on the football field. I think you like him personally. I don't have any problem with him there, but probably just don't believe in him as a quarterback. And it's easy to understand why. Now, some of it is the circumstances around him. I think the start of his career was completely wasted by a coach who was an utter buffoon. And whatever we think of Harbaugh, he is at least competent and professional in his approach, and players do respond to him. It would feel that if the Los Angeles Chargers were to make a move, now would be it. They've invested on the offensive line in recent years. They've invested on the weapon side of things in terms of the last couple of drafts that they've had. They've invested bigly there. Defensively, they return almost everybody on their defensive side of the ball, and they still have some stalwarts there like Derwin James and Khalil Mack, and some of those guys are still in the mix. So this team is not as good as Kansas City. It's not as good as Denver, but that doesn't mean that they can't be in the mix again. And I do feel like the only thing that keeps them from having the pressure of Cincinnati and Baltimore and Buffalo is just the fact that they are the second NFL team in a market where, from a give-a-damn perspective, they're probably 10th on the list of things that people care about in Southern California. There's just no fan base for them. We'll see if it comes alive a little bit with Justin Herbert and his fiance and all of those things, but they've been there a while, and they just have very little traction in that market.
Is it 6 points in the final 2 games, their regular season finale, and then the game against the Patriots in the wild card round? Well, you got to do something on the offense, so you bring over Mike McDaniel.
Yeah,
as the offensive coordinator. And I don't know what the hell that's going to look like, but they do seem to be, at least they win the quirkiest coaching award, if you want to give that out in the NFL.
Hands down.
Certainly.
Wouldn't that work like just a reality show with Mike and Jim? They
Talking about
be more
chickens
different.
Two
being
weirdest
scared
dudes.
birds and hitting their vape, and
Couldn't be more different, those two.
But this, for the Chargers, at least they get to kind of wade into the waters of the regular season. They start against the Arizona Cardinals and the Las Vegas Raiders. Both of those games are at the home that they rent, SoFi Stadium. Yep. Then they go to Buffalo for Week 3. A Week 7 bye isn't the best for a team like this, and even that 11-6 mark last year, you're like, you sure it's a playoff team?
Yeah,
we really think. And then obviously they showed their ass in the wild card round. But the way they're built right now is to go and make a playoff push. But yeah, you got to have it all from Herbert.
they are the team that should have been next in the AFC, you would think. But they just haven't been able to get over the hump for whatever the reason is. Man, that would be so fun. Like, how did we not get this team on Hard Knocks with Harbaugh and McDaniel?
Oh, my God, dude.
That would have been insane.
Gold.
But they have a lot of talented players. But let's David Njoku, to me, is the perfect example of the Los Angeles Chargers, and he's a perfect fit there. Like, he's going to go up in triple coverage and make a poster highlight catch and come down with the ball. But when you've got a big 3rd and 1 that you've got to convert on the final drive of the game to win the game, he's going to drop it. And I just feel like everything I feel about David Njoku, that's how I feel about the Los Angeles Chargers, and it's a perfect fit.
He's the perfect player to play for the Chargers. Yeah, it's a nice squad. It's just, it's just been in a very strange spot since they've been in Los Angeles, which has been a long time now. Let's hit the categories on the Chargers. Coach grade for Jim Harbaugh, Reese.
I'm going to go with C for kooky, crazy, and a cheater.
That's a good job out of you.
I'm going to go B+. I think Jim Harbaugh is a good coach, and he gets programs and makes them win until he's wore out his welcome, and he doesn't anymore. I mean, he had San Francisco in the Super Bowl. San Francisco was the standard bearer while he was there in the NFC, but he just can't quite, in the NFL at least, get a team over the hump.
No, and look, we have our own feelings with him with everything he did at the end at Michigan, but he is an elevator of programs collegiately and professionally. The question is, can he get him over the hump? And my hunch is he probably can't and won't. He played there. He was a legend there and with the Chargers as well. So there's a little bit of that, although obviously that was in San Diego. I think he's a B. I think he's an above-average coach, and teams respond to him. They do, for all of the issues we have. Uniform grade for the Los Angeles Chargers, Reese.
I think they're fine. I'm going to give them a B-, a C+. I certainly like the powder blue a little bit better than the ones they had in San Diego. And then they went with their throwbacks. So we're just going to do San Diego Chargers colors. I also don't like the yellow alternates. That's too much mustard.
This is an A+ to me. And outside of that yellow one that you just mentioned, I love every uniform combination that they have.
Yeah, it's an A+ for me too, but I think it's a little bit of a cheat code because the color scheme is so great and the uniform is so clean. So they're wearing the powder blues that they went to, the Spanos family they had to be drug into wearing it. Basically, they were just looking for something positive because they were asked to wear it when they're in San Diego forever, but they view the Navy as like their Chargers. So now the Navy looks good as like a one-off, and the powder blue is the go-to primarily. Obviously, the yellow one doesn't work. All the rest of them are A++. It's a beautiful look. They did a really good job with it. One franchise great you could add to this team, Reese.
It would help if they had LaDainian Tomlinson.
Sure,
you wouldn't have to rely on Justin Herbert that much.
Normally, I would like to go different from whoever has just gone in this, but Barry Sanders, LaDainian Tomlinson, that's the list at the top of my favorite NFL players that aren't Cleveland Browns of all time. I loved LT and everything he did.
It's probably it's him. I mean, he's the obvious one, and that's where their weakness is as well. If I was looking for something other than LT, just to be different, Kellen Winslow was a stud. An absolute stud. First ballot Gold Jacket Hall of Fame. Obviously failed pretty miserably at raising children, but was a damn good football player. And Antonio Gates, too. Both of those would be very helpful for Justin Herbert. Both of those guys.
Junior Seau would probably look good wrecking offenses on the defensive side of the ball as well.
I spent New Year's Eve 2004 in the same VIP room as Junior Seau at Nikki Beach in South Beach, Miami.
One of my favorite stories.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy, man. Franchise tier for the Chargers. Reese?
It's a B tier franchise. The stadium thing's wonky. They haven't won anything. So, yeah.
I put down a B as well. They've been, for most of my life, pretty relevant in the NFL. And you mentioned Kellen Winslow and Dan Fouts, like they were on the cutting edge of new age football back then. But how they're not in San Diego right now is just insane.
Yeah, I went D here because they're not in San Diego. They've been in Los Angeles for like a decade and have made absolutely no headway whatsoever, despite having fun players, despite living in a place that a lot of people would like to live, Southern California. They've never really won anything, and they got an ownership group that's very cheap, and they pay rent at their stadium. It's like they are kind of a paper tiger franchise. Like, they should be way better than they are. They should be at the very top. They should be like the Rams, but they're so mismanaged that they almost win despite themselves through the years. Win it all, playoffs, building or busting for the Chargers, Reese.
This is a bust. They want to be a playoff team. They're built to be a playoff team to make a playoff push, but I'd have a hard time seeing them in the playoffs.
Wow, and I thought I was going to be the hard one on this Chargers team. They believe they're a Super Bowl team. I believe they are a playoff team that is closer to busting than the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think we're kind of all in a similar spot here. I think that they are I think they believe they're a playoff team. I think they're probably still considered building. I think that if they were in another market, there would be an immense amount of pressure on Harbaugh and Herbert. But I think just because of the apathy in L.A. for the Chargers, they probably won't be, which is why I'm going to say they're not quite busting, but I could see it happening. The Las Vegas Raiders are certainly building. You can't go anywhere but up after 3-14. Do they finally have it heading in the right direction? We'll tackle them coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Big Voice Guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
From military life to a rewarding career in IT. Kickstart your new journey in a matter of months in the fields of IT and cybersecurity, including AI. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including VA benefits.
Trust isn't built in a day. It's built over years of showing up, doing the right thing, and standing behind every promise. For 34 years, that's exactly what Newman Roofing has done for families across Central Ohio. We know inviting a contractor to your home is a big decision. That's why we believe every homeowner deserves honest, transparent communication and a team that's there to educate you, not pressure you. The goal is simple: deliver a white-glove customer experience that leaves you just as confident in the process as you are in the finished product. That commitment has earned Newman Roofing the honor of being voted City Scene Magazine's Best Roofing Company 5 years in a row. This award represents something more important than just recognition. It represents the trust of our neighbors. So, if you're considering a new roof, siding, or gutters, choose the local company that's spent more than 3 decades putting families first. Newman Roofing. Call 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF, or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
Something big has just dropped at Hothead Burritos. Introducing barbecue pork carnitas. Juicy, mouth-watering pork carnitas. Our limited-time new citrus chipotle barbecue sauce. Savor the summer flavor. Hothead Burritos. Get up and get you some.
Football season is here. Make sure your internet is ready. Kinetic's 100% fiber gives you the fast, reliable connection to enjoy live football on YouTube TV and watch up to 4 live games at once with Multiview. Check real-time stats and catch more big plays without missing a snap. Take your game watching to a whole new level. Switch to Kinetic. Save up to $120 on your first year of YouTube TV. Visit GoKinetic.com for details. Subject to availability and eligibility. Terms, conditions, and restrictions apply. Cancel anytime. Kinetic. Internet better.
Great cars, great deals, great lakes. The savings are so good. You know the savings are so good. You know the savings are so good. Great Lakes Hyundai of Dublin. G-Lakes Hyundai of Dublin.com.
Hi, it's Jen Winters from The Fan. I decided it was time to lose weight, not just for my health, but because I was tired of seeing myself in photos and on video. With football season coming up, I wanted to feel more confident. And that's what brought me to Hydrate Me Med Spa. I was honestly nervous walking into my first appointment, but Stacy, my nurse practitioner, put me at ease. Hydrate Me Med Spa has 4 locations in Central Ohio: Grandview, Powell, New Albany, and Granville. I'm excited to keep sharing my progress with you. Learn more at hydratememedspa.com.
Don't sweat it. Call Care Heating and Cooling and we'll fix your air conditioner fast. 1-800-COOLING.
Helping a new driver get ready for their road test? Here's a convenient new way to make the most of your 50 hours of required practice driving time. The Road Ready Ohio app, available now at no cost to new drivers and their families. Road Ready Ohio keeps track of your driving experience together, providing feedback and safe driving tips. It even generates the documentation you need for the Ohio BMV. The Road Ready Ohio app, free to download in the Apple and Google App Stores.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is, fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, commercial properties. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
ESPN senior NFL insider Adam Schefter joins Rothman and Ice every Wednesday at 12:30, and he works blue.
Okay. The NFL Playbook with Adam Schefter is sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
Indeed it is. The Fan. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We'll enjoy a mostly sunny sky for the rest of your Friday. Good stuff out there with highs in the lower 80s. There's a tiny chance a shower could pop up. Overnight, mostly clear skies, lows back around 60. For your weekend, mostly sunny on Saturday, 83. Warmer on Sunday, sunshine, 87. For The Fan, I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Justin Gertz.
Miss a little, miss a lot. Catch Bishop and Friends wherever you get your podcasts. It's free.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
The Fan. The best hair on the air. You are listening to Bishop and Friends.
How many times have the Oakland Raiders, now Las Vegas Raiders, changed direction in the last decade? I mean, how many different coaches have they had in the last decade? How many different front office processes have they had over the last decade? They've gotten an influx of cash. Now Tom Brady's in the middle of that ownership group. He's walking around on the sidelines and all of the things that go with it. They bring in Clint Kubiak as their head coach. They had the number 1 overall pick. They used it on Fernando Mendoza. They brought in Kirk Cousins to mentor him. They've added bigly up front in terms of Tyler Linderbaum, which was one of the better signings, I thought, of the free agent process. They get him over from Baltimore. They add on the defensive side as well. It appears that for the first time in a while, they're kind of headed in the right direction. And here's the crazy thing about them. Despite their quirky primary ownership, this should be an absolute behemoth. This is a legendary brand. This is a city that a lot of guys want to live in. It's a state without any state tax, so you can really crush it there. They have They have an opportunity to really be a franchise that people want to be involved with in a big, big way. They certainly feel like they can do a lot of the things that the Vegas Knights do in terms of guys just wanting to be there. All they got to do is win a little bit, and they just haven't. So it's just a matter of, do you trust Clint Kubiak in a spot like this? Can he be one of these guys who's not only brilliant at play calling, but also brilliant at leadership, at follow me to freedom, all of those things? And then just, do you believe in Mendoza long term? Because if you believe in those two things, then I think these guys are in a position to be in the mix for a while if they landed on Mendoza and Kubiak.
Yeah, I think in my lifetime, the most consistent thing with the Oakland/Las Vegas Raiders has been Mark Davis's haircut.
Yeah.
Everything, they've just 180'd so many different times. They've obviously moved to Las Vegas, tried to establish an identity out there. I do think to Allegiant Stadium out there is probably the destination if you're looking as a fan to go to an away game somewhere. Like, all right, the Browns
100%.
playing the Raiders this season. Let's go to Las Vegas, more so than you would probably say Los Angeles. But I think that they've just got to figure out the right coach, and then it can trickle from there. Fernando Mendoza's an interesting cat in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of fits it feels like square peg, round hole. Kirk Cousins fits. Fiery guy with a city and I think a fan base that would, cling to that if he was to be the Kirk Cousins of you like that fame. But this is really all about, can they develop Fernando Mendoza into something? They have weapons. They've got a roster that, again, everything's going to be building. So I think that's going to be the theme for the Las Vegas Raiders as they try to figure out what to do in year one under Kubiak.
It sure seems like the Davis family, outside of maybe John Gruden, hadn't done a great job of picking coaches since like the late 80s, early 90s. And that seems to be a big part of the problem. And also the money thing. Maybe that's taken care of now that they're in Vegas and they've got this stadium, and maybe everything will be different. I don't know about Clint Kubiak. I guess we'll find out. It seemed like he's a pretty good offensive mind. I also don't know about Fernando Mendoza. There's part of me that thinks he could be the best quarterback in the league, and there's part of me that thinks that he's going to be a guy that bounces around and starts for 5 or 6 different teams.
Yeah, I think we're all so gun-shy on quarterbacks, Bake. Like, who now would you, go to the woodshed for and say, this dude's going to be a dude, no doubt? Like, coming out of college now, who are your sure things? There's so many guys that I felt like one way and then didn't, that I just think we're in a position now where we're just gun shy on proclaiming any of these guys hitting. I think it's the hardest thing you can do in sports is identify which quarterback is going to translate to the NFL from college.
The one thing that I cannot get over is just how, if you go back and you look at that combine of Tom Brady, how similar these two are. They're big, tall, lanky, awkward, goofy, but they just win football games somehow.
Yeah, they do. I have my own suspicions about Mendoza, but here's the thing that was crazy about that. It's not like there was any dialogue about anybody else or him not being worthy of the pick. It was foregone conclusion at the combine. He's going number 1 to the Raiders. That's it. That was combine. So everyone's known for a long time that he was the guy. I think if you're a Raiders fan, there's probably some reason for optimism here. You got Ashton Genty, although he's dealing with an injury. Brock Bowers is there. You don't lose Max Crosby. He was supposed to go to Baltimore, but they pivoted to Hendrickson, so he's back. There's some things to kind of be excited about with the Las Vegas Raiders, probably for the first time since they've been in Vegas. Let's hit the categories on the Vegas Raiders. Start with the coaching grade for Clint Kubiak. Bake, we'll start with you.
It's got to be an incomplete. We haven't seen him be a head coach yet.
I forgot Clint Kubiak was the head coach until I was doing a little bit of prep on the Raiders. I'm like, oh, that's who they got. And I think he's a good football coach. But how often have we seen that translate in year one to that being a great NFL head coach? Incomplete.
So, I think that's the right way to do this because we just don't know. But like we don't know if he'll be a Ben Johnson. Is he one of those guys who's a brilliant play caller who also people will follow? Ben Johnson, though, stepped into a very different situation with a ton of talent everywhere. This is not that at all. They do have some pieces. What I have to assume, though, is that from his father, Gary Kubiak, who did not win a Super Bowl, he did. Did he learn how to lead men? And that's something we just don't know about Clint Kubiak. We know he can call up ball plays, but can he lead men? And that's going to be something where it's impossible for us to know right now just because we don't know him personally. Kirk Morrison knows him personally. We'll ask him about it in about 5 minutes. Uniform grade for the Raiders, Bake.
2 A+ today.
Yeah, these are S-tier uniforms.
This is the best uniform in the NFL. This is one of the best uniforms in all of sports. This uniform is an example when something perfectly, aesthetically matches what it physically is trying to be. This is perfection. This is Yankee pinstripes. This is Celtic clovers. This is all of it. It's perfect. That's exactly what the Raiders should look like. And they've been largely unchanged their entire existence because why the hell would you? They're perfect. One franchise great you could add to this team. Go ahead, Bake.
This has got to be the worst wide receiver room I have ever seen on a football team. And if Fernando Mendoza is your future franchise quarterback, you need to add to this room quickly. And I don't consider Jerry Rice or Randy Moss Raiders. You know who is a Raider, though? Tim Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had Randy Moss written down. Charles Woodson would be great for the Raiders, not only as a guy that can guide rookies, but just the playmaker that he was when he was in Oakland.
I mean, there's some legends here and some really fun dudes like Kenny Stabler and Freddie Bolitnikoff who are just, I've had a chance to meet both of those guys. They're just legendary dudes. Tim Brown is probably the correct way to go here. You go Jim Otto, who's an all-time great. They've got some cool defensive players as well. But my God, Marcus Allen and Bo Jackson at their best. I mean, Bo Jackson at his best. Ashton Genty become a scat back.
But that'd be great if they could do that.
Jackson. Give me Bo Jackson. Come on, man. Franchise tier for the Raiders. This one's a little complicated, Bake.
I think this is a D. And they might be on the trending back up. There was one time they were much better, and then it went down, and they might be on the way up. But, yeah, it's too many homes, too many coaches, just too much bad.
I agree. It's a D. They just don't have an identity.
It really sucks because it should be an S. They play in a city that everybody wants to live in. They play in a uniform that is everybody loves. There's no reason it's not an S, but just ownership has stayed in the way. So I think you guys are probably right. I think it's probably a D. On uniforms alone, I'm going to give them a C, and on location, I'm going to give them a C. I think they're headed in the right direction, but it's probably is a D. Win it all, playoffs, building or busting for the Vegas Raiders, Bake.
I think they're building.
Yeah. It's really all you can do with this team.
Yeah. I think, it's on Mendoza. Are they headed in the right direction? If you believe in Mendoza and you believe in Kubiak, then you could say that they are because Bowers is a stud and Genty could be a stud, and so we'll see. Kirk Morrison knows he's on the color broadcast with the Raiders, and, of course, a former Raiders great, former San Diego State great linebacker as well. He will join us in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
My AC's still cooling, but something's not quite right. Seems it's working awfully hard, but I'm so hot at night.
Let us have a look. We'll figure out what's wrong. We'll recommend the best plan to get it running strong.
Get a free diagnostic AC check with repair.
Call 614-683-9911. Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
Hey, it's Common Man. Everybody's talking about affordability these days, but the good news is you'll find hundreds of vehicles that fit your budget at GoGermain.com. Drive home in a new sedan starting at just $139 a month. New SUVs from only $189 a month, or a truck for as low as $329. Plus, choose from over 1,700 new and pre-owned vehicles, all priced under $30K, and it's only at GoGermain.com. And with their $1,000 price promise, no one's going to sell you a car for less. Go see my friends today. GoGermain.com.
Hey guys, 13-year NFL veteran and Super Bowl champion Jason McCourty here, and I'm the Innovation Ambassador at FAIR, Food Allergy and Research Education. I would say the most challenging thing as a parent of a kid who has a food allergy is probably the ignorance that I myself had in the beginning. I didn't know what anaphylactic shock was. I didn't know the dangers, let alone the things that she needed to be able to have a normal life. When you go to drop your kid off, and every single time in the beginning, we'd have to go through everything she was allergic to. Preparation is everything. And me, for playing football for 13 years, it was all throughout the course of the week. It's getting ready for game day. When you're on the field, you're playing for your fans. At home, you're playing for your family. My playbook, read labels, keep it allergy friendly, and have an epinephrine nasal spray as a backup plan. Because when my family's safe from food allergens, that's the real victory. Visit foodallergy.org to learn more.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Columbus, Worthington, Air, and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
After putting up with Dom Barry for a decade, the broadcast gods gave Bo these two. This is Bishop and Friends.
Well, he's one of the best collegiate linebackers of all time. Had a great NFL career as well. It started with the Raiders, where you can now find him on the Raiders radio network. He is Kirk Morrison. He joins us. Kirk, thank you so much for taking the time on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. I just wanted to start with Kubiak because we see these guys who are these brilliant play callers, and they get paratrooped in, and now they're the head coach of something, but can they also lead men? You've been around him. I haven't. Does he check that box too?
Yeah, he checks that box. He checks that box because his demeanor comes in and he's all about football. He's all about ball. And for guys who are young, guys who are veterans, that's what you want from a head coach. Like, he loves to have guys with personality, but what he also demands is production. That's what he's told us. And so he's got the resume. I mean, whether it's from the family, from his dad, Gary Kubiak, who won a Super Bowl as a head coach, whether it's his brothers who are around the National Football League, one's in the Dallas organization, the other one, offensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers. Like, everybody buys into who Clint Kubiak is because of what he's been able to show. And then also he won a Super Bowl. So the leader of men is part of what he's shown actually in his rise to being the head coach.
It's funny, like, NFL players aren't any different than anybody else, right? Like, if you show me that I can have success on the field, I'll follow you. And so when they see that schematic and they go, "Oh boy, I'm gonna be open a lot here." What will Raider fans notice biggest difference offensively, Kubiak versus what you've had previously?
I think it's the tight end position. I think it's obviously Brock Bowers, who we believe is the best tight end in the National Football League. But we also got Michael Mayer, who was one of the best collegiate tight ends a couple years ago coming out of Notre Dame. I think these two guys will have a major part of the offense that I think Raider fans have been thinking about when we drafted Brock Bowers a while ago. It was like, okay, this whole 12 personnel, one back, two tight ends, this is what we're going to major in. And it never really came to fruition. And what I think now is going to be kind of their bread and butter. And then along with, I think, the fantasy owners too, Bo. We got to start talking about the fantasy people out there. The fantasy people want to see Ashton Genty. And I think, look, for what Ashton was able to accomplish last year, over 10 touchdowns, over 1,500 yards or 1,200 yards from scrimmage. He didn't rush for 1,000, but he got to 975 behind a very porous offensive line. We think that he's going to have a monster year. And you look at guys last year like Kenneth Walker, who was your Super Bowl MVP, and then going along with Zach Charbonnet, that running game with Seattle, we envision the same thing for Ashton Genty. So I think that's what Raider fans and also the NFL fans will see from this offense. A lot of Brock Bowers and a lot of Ashton Genty.
Kirk, you mentioned Genty and you mentioned fantasy, and I was going to go there next. So he's fine? He's good?
I will say we'll see week one.
Okay.
I'm at liberty to say week one, that is the hope. Obviously the big injury that happened last week, and a lot of people were like, wow, what's going to happen? But from the people that I've talked to, there's a hope that he'll be available come week one, and that's as far as we got. So I think we'll see about the decisions made this weekend too. We'll tell a lot for his availability for week one.
Well, he's a stud if he's healthy. You talked about the two tight ends. Yeah. Bowers is probably the best in the league. Meyer, I expect him to have a big year as well. But the thing you look at here, and I just look at this, I go, okay, on the outside, who makes opposing defenses have to think about what are we going to do with them. And it's obviously there's not a ton there. Who do you like outside? Who needs to step up outside to give Cousins or eventually Mendoza, or however that's going to look, a true deep threat on the perimeter?
Yeah, that's been the tough part. This not only just off season, but throughout preseason. There was an expectation that a guy like Trey Tucker, who went to Cincinnati, and then there was also Jalen Naylor, who went to Michigan State, played early in his career with the Minnesota Vikings, was always kind of the third, fourth option with that Vikings team, but a guy who had double-digit touchdowns in his time over there. So you have all of these guys who you expected to take this leap. You drafted Jack Besh out in the second round from TCU last year, and there was an expectation that these guys would be what you needed outside the numbers, and it really hasn't progressed in the way I think some would have wanted to. So I feel like this team possibly could make a move at wide receiver just because no one really truly separated themselves. No one really truly said, hey, I'm the best of the group. I'm your go-to guy. But again, it goes back to what we talked about in the beginning about the offense, right? The offense is run through number 89, Brock Bowers. So it's almost like he's the headliner, and then the guys who are, coming in to get to the headliner just got to do their part. So we'll see what it looks like going into week one, but I would not be surprised if the Raiders made a move right around this waiver wire, this cut down, that they bring in an option that can truly maybe separate or be able to make some of those big-time catches in the red zone.
Man, buddy, I flip it over to your side of the ball, and I really like what they did in free agency. They got you get a big bonus, too, because Crosby comes back. That was such a strange thing with Baltimore, but they really buttressed your position at linebacker. Nakobe Dean coming in, Quay Walker as well. What do you make of that side of the ball and the improvements that should be made there?
I mean, they brought in 2 former first-round picks in Kwity Paye from Indianapolis, and then also Quay Walker from Green Bay. And then you bring in a Super Bowl champion in Nakobe Dean at linebacker. They brought in some swagger, guys with a lot left in their careers, and not those guys in the second and third contract. Those third contracts, right? We're bringing in guys in their prime who I think are, downhill. They bring swagger. They bring a confidence to this defense. And then another guy who kind of gets lost in all of this is Taron Johnson. He's been with the Buffalo Bills for, throughout his career. He came over in a trade, and he's really been fantastic. And this is a defense under Rob Leonard, first-year defensive coordinator. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. He's got some things. He's come from the Mike McDonald tree. He's been under, Brian Flores. He's been under Patrick Graham. He's seen a lot of defense in his time as a position coach. Now he's getting his opportunity to finally implement his scheme. So versatility is key, and that's what I love about this defense. When you talk about the guys, we just talk about they were at it.
Former great, just incredible linebacker at San Diego State and had a great NFL career. You can currently hear him on The Color on the Vegas Raiders radio network. Kirk Morrison, our guest. Ideally, buddy, how does this season go with Mendoza? How does that go? If everything goes according to plan, what does this season look like with Mendoza and Cousins?
I mean, to be honest, if everything goes right for the Raiders, I don't see Mendoza, which to me is a great thing because that means the Raiders are winning. I mean, if we don't see Fernando Mendoza, that means that Kirk Cousins and his offense is humming. His team is, right now, hopefully getting, 10, 11 wins, and you have an opportunity to preserve almost like a red shirt for Fernando Mendoza. But if we see Mendoza possibly early on, that tells me that this team isn't competing. This team is not where it needs to be. And so you kind of throw the young quarterback out there. But I think in a reality, halfway through the season, we will know what it looks like for Fernando Mendoza. And I would say he will start games this year. The only thing that is just how many – and at one point during the season when you have the likes of going against the Rams, the Bills, right? You've got a crazy schedule ahead of you. So that will all be predicated on how this team starts off in the early part of the season. If they're winning games, we'll see a lot of Cousins. If it's kind of a 50-50 and the team's not necessarily progressing, then you already know they're going to turn to Fernando Mendoza. So it'll be crucial that they get off to a good start, and now we can make the decision later on.
Kirk, how's he looked?
He's looked like a rookie quarterback. Yeah. I mean, there's been but there's plays and there's throws, and you say, oh, that's it. right? There was a joint practice against the Houston Texans, and, I'm sitting here watching from behind the offense, and there's a couple plays that he made, throwing the football in the air, and there's just a look that you share with either the general manager, John Spytek, or, other personnel people who are looking on, and it's like, all right, you've got something, and you know what the future looks like. Now it's just a point of getting him comfortable, letting him see it. But Clint Kubiak has just mentioned it from the beginning. Reps, reps, reps. You need repetitions. You need to have that experience, and that's what he's going through right now. He had an interception last night, one in which I know he probably would have back, but he needs experience and reps of certain types of plays that in the NFL, what you can get away with, what you can do, and what you cannot do.
Kirk, I think I'll get you out of here on this one. I'm looking at this thing. If they land on Mendoza and Kubiak, you've got some of this young talent that we've talked about. You have a city that NFL players love to visit and love to live in, and you also have no state tax. Like, it all feels like it's kind of lined up, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It really does. I think this franchise is just it's different than, like, I grew up in Oakland, California, been born and raised a Raider fan, was drafted by the Raiders, so I know what that fandom looked like, and I knew what that era of Raider football looked like in Oakland. And now it's starting to take shape here in Las Vegas, because I think that this is a regime that is going to be together for a while. Like, if you ask me, like, what's been the demise so far, well, what's really brought the team down is you've had 4 head coaches in the last 4 years, from John Gruden to Josh McDaniels to Antonio Pierce to Pete Carroll. Like, stability is what is going to bring this franchise back to its glory, and I think we have that right now. John Spytek, general manager. Same with Clint Kubiak, but also an ownership group now, along with Egon Durbin and Michael Melvin, along with Mark Davis, that there's some stability within this team. And I think finally it just feels like we're on the right track and moving forward in the right direction. Now, look, am I saying it's a Super Bowl in our future this year? No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that you see the things are being put in place that make you feel confident that this team is going to be a true contender and be able to turn this thing around pretty quickly.
Kirk, always admired you as a player. Thank you so much. It was a privilege getting to talk to you today. Thanks for your time, pal.
All good. Anytime, man. Appreciate it. You got it.
There you go. Kirk Morrison, color analyst on the Las Vegas Raiders radio network, and really one of the best collegiate linebackers of all time. He was a stud. We get you 3 things on a Friday. Up next, Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
It's Friday, and there's football. I shall call it Football Friday.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home for all things football. The Fan, Ohio State football. Training camp report.
This report is brought to you statewide by Safe Line Auto Glass and Bob's Discount Furniture. Ryan Day's team will have 7 captains this year, in quarterback Julian Sand, wideouts Jeremiah Smith and Brandon Innes, offensive lineman Austin Saraveld, defensive end Kenyatta Jackson Jr., linebacker Peyton Pierce, and safety Jalen McClain.
This was a great representation of who our team voted for, but also the positions. I think for the offensive line, it was important that Austin was a 2-time captain, and based on how the vote came out, that worked out. But then, when you look at the rest of the guys that were named captains, it's a good representation from each group. And when you have 51 new players on the team, it's a big challenge. And so this has been a new experience, for all the coaches, but for the players to, bring these new guys into the program, teach them the culture, teach them the tradition, teach them the expectation, the standard. I thought they've done an excellent job of that.
It's the 7th time Ohio State's had 7 captains. We'll have more after this.
Bob's Discount Furniture has the furniture you've waited 250 years for. We've got power reclining sofas as low as $7.99, 5-piece dining sets as low as $3.99, Bob-O-Pedic mattresses for as low as $2.99, and of course feature-packed bestsellers like my Playday sectional with pop-up sleeper sofa. So stop in or shop mybobs.com to see where America shops for furniture. Oh, my Bob! Bob's Discount Furniture, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelight.com. Safelight Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
You previously heard Ohio State will have 7 captains this season, 4 of them on offense and 3 of them on defense. 5 Buckeyes are first-time captains, while offensive lineman Austin Sareveld and wide receiver Brandon Inniss return as 2-time captains. Additionally, Inniss was awarded the coveted Block O jersey, becoming the 3rd wideout to earn the honor in its 7-year history. Head coach Ryan Day spoke on Inniss receiving the Block O.
The players vote for the captain for Block O. It's Mick and his staff and myself. It was a pretty strong vote for Brandon Inniss. Just what he's done on a daily basis, the way he shows up, his work ethic, his leadership, certainly in line with the leadership award and what he's brought to the table off the field. And certainly, he's made clutch plays for us as well on the field, which we're going to need him to do this season as well.
The season opener for the Buckeyes is September 5th versus Ball State. This is Tyler Danberg on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious, with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best.
Are you ready to sail, Buckeye Nation? Join us February 19th to February 26, 2027, as we celebrate the 20th anniversary of the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer out of Barbados on the Silver Sea, Silver Ray. Meet more than 35 Buckeye greats plus some of your favorite current Buckeyes, all while making memories and helping beat cancer. You don't want to miss this ultimate Buckeye fan experience. We can't wait to see you on board. Let's celebrate 20 years of making a difference. Visit BuckeyeCruise.com for more information.
Paul Keels here, voice of the Ohio State Buckeyes. You have to check out the brand new AAA Buckeyes MVP membership. Get all the benefits of AAA, such as 24/7 roadside assistance, plus chances to win tickets to Buckeye sporting events, access to exclusive MVP experiences, along with 10% off gear at the Ohio State team shop. Already a AAA member? Add the Buckeye MVP membership upgrade for free. Head to AAA.com/Buckeyes to join the squad and put your fandom in drive.
Making ends meet matters for Ohio families. Congressman Mike Carey is working to help you keep more of what you earn and get the benefits you deserve. Mike Carey supported the Social Security Fairness Act, helping ensure public servants like teachers, firefighters, and police officers receive the full benefits they've earned. And Mike Carey is working to deliver tax relief for more Ohioans. Congressman Carey backed historic tax cuts for working families and seniors. That plan eliminated taxes on tips and overtime, expanded the child tax credit, and provided thousands in tax relief for Ohio seniors. Because whether you're working, raising a family, or planning for retirement, every dollar matters. Visit carey.house.gov to learn more or get help accessing benefits or dealing with a federal agency. Congressman Carey's office is here to help and fighting to help your family keep more of what you earn. Paid for with official funds from the office of Congressman Mike Carey.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
If you love a good pie analogy,
think of the cap as a pie, and once you take out one piece, there's less left for the next guy.
then this is the radio show for you. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, Reese, what do we have on the poll today?
The Daily Fan Poll is sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub. Fall means football. Catch every game at JT's with award-winning pizza, $2 Yingling Tall Boys, and $20 domestic buckets. The Fan Poll asks, will you be watching Week 0 in college football this weekend? 62% say yes, I'll be locked in. 37% are liars. Say no, they'll wait for Week 1.
I'll definitely have it on. If I'm in the house, it'll be on in the background somewhere. That's the way that'll go. And some of this stuff I really want to see USC. I'm curious to see what that looks like, even against San Jose State, and then the beloved Bobcats at night. So, yeah, there's some fun ones, some fun games out there for sure. All right, time for 3 things on a Friday. Hit it, guys.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
Number one for me, guys, for the longest time, we had nice little Friday nights where the young family would go to football game and the high school football game on a Friday night, and everyone would kind of be locked in together and we'd see each other. Those days are in the rearview mirror now that I have a 14-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 10-year-old. So this is just what's happening tonight with our kids. I will be with NBC 45 minutes away for a Friday Night Lights game, about 45 minutes away. The 7th grader, young Beamsy, is at his first middle school party. So he's at a middle school party tonight, the 7th grader. And then the 5th grader, young baby boy Bootsy, who is now in 5th grade, he is apparently at a pool party at our club that he's going with his buddies to. And so my wife and I will not see each other tonight. She'll be with the littles, I'll be with the bigs. And this is now what I think like the next 10 years of our life are going to be like, in 3 different locations with kids at all different social events. It's crazy.
And then I think it's you blink and then you're taking the last one off to college.
Well, yeah, cat's in the cradle. Thanks, Reese.
Sorry, going to the weekend with that.
God, kick Buddy Garrity while you're here.
Fast forwarded his life.
I think we've all known that the best collegiate marching band resides in the state of Ohio. It might not be the one that you're thinking of. According to a poll of USA Today readers, the most exciting band in the land, the Marching 110, is the top marching band in the country. So in their top 10, you got the best damn band in the land is in at 8th. So some proper recognition for quality marching bands in the Buckeye State. Oh, yeah.
It might be fighting words to some people, Reese.
Come at me.
Hey, speaking of the great state of Ohio, how about the Hamilton Little League baseball team, who will be playing Saturday at 3:30 in the United States Championship, part of the Little League World Series? I believe it was Iowa they beat yesterday, 7-1. That was on while we were doing the show, so I wasn't watching it, but I could see like highlights at commercial breaks and stuff. Those boys were playing some baseball, so good luck to Hamilton Little League. Hopefully they can knock off Henderson, Nevada, and then play in the Little League World Series Championship the following day on Sunday.
That would be absolutely awesome. Good luck to those guys. Number 2 for me, if you didn't watch, and I think one of the beauty of this game being on Amazon Prime is you can go rewatch it. If you didn't watch the Browns preseason game last night against the Patriots, I would recommend you doing so, especially in the second quarter and the third quarter and even into the fourth. Why, you ask? Because essentially you got This Is Your Life, Al Michaels. Al's my guy. I would listen intently to a once-a-week Story Time with Uncle Al podcast. Sold. Done. And it feels like he wants to do it. I don't know why it hasn't been done yet. It was awesome last night, just getting to listen to him tell stories for the majority of that game.
I tell you what, like NBC's got a vacancy this fall because Michael Jordan's not coming back to their NBA broadcast. So I know he doesn't work for him anymore, but it's right there for you. Like, it was cool for the Browns to have a picture of him and his wife, like newlyweds, up on the screen, and then how that weaved into a traditionally boring preseason football broadcast, but just him and Kirk, and when they brought up Fitzpatrick, that was just entertaining from a football fan's perspective. I guess I'll just make that my second thing. I was skeptical about how an Amazon Prime NFL preseason game would be. You got Al just enjoying himself, and Kirk's following along, asking all the right questions, and Kaylee Hartung was incredible last night. Like, she had an interview with Drake May, and it was all a great broadcast. So more of that for the preseason.
Second thing for me, Friday nights are for high school football on the Fan, 6:30 tonight in high school football with Skip Mossick kicks it off. Then our high school football game of the week brought to you by Capital Ford of Columbus. Pickerington Central taking on Watterson at Ohio Dominican University. Then Lee and I will be here after for high school football overtime. There's some fun matchups in Central Ohio tonight, so get out there and go to a game. Cleveland Glenville is in town over at Olentangy Liberty. Marion Local is also in town. How about this for a fun small school game? They're over in Canal Winchester at Harvest Prep. Taking on them, so that'll be fun. I also love this small school game. West Jefferson is at Newark Catholic. I feel like those two should play every year. And your Golden Bears, Reese, with a big one against Olentangy Berlin.
Awesome. And Berlin had a big win last week, did they not?
Right here on the Fan over Orange.
Yeah, they beat Orange.
Yeah, very good. Finally, enjoy your week 0. If you're on the fence, go to your high school football games. But whatever you do, buckle in Monday, kids, because it's game week.
Yeah, the Golden Bears have a chance here to just dominate Olentangy, the place that Joshua Perry calls home. I did some Maction research real quick as we've got a heavyweight matchup in the Mid-American Conference tomorrow, Sacramento State and Eastern Michigan. Can't say that with a straight face. The Hornets are going to host Toledo Wednesday, November 4th. So that'll be your Maction out west now that the Mid-American Conference has gone coast to coast.
That's right.
Final thing for me, don't go anywhere. Rothman and Ice have you covered on your Friday afternoon. Austin Ward in with Maddie today for AR. They're going to talk to Rick Neuheisel at 12:30 and do a little baseball talk with Jensen Lewis at 2:30.
Enjoy your week 0, kids. Buckle in next week. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We're known for 3 things: games, conversation, and Common Man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio